Hey, Podnutzians, welcome to the Mini PC Show, episode 117. This show is all about big talk with little machines of all form factors, all sizes, and all ages. This show is brought to you by Tom O. Thanks for your patronage, Tom O. If you would like to support this show as well, it is super easy. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/the Mini PC Show, or just click the links in the notes. And speaking about supporting the show, we have Rich and Brent with us this evening. How's everything going, Brent?
Going pretty good. Trying to figure out a few things, trying to build a few things, trying to never slows down for me. But yeah, having fun. How about you guys? How you doing, Rich?
Oh, I got an interesting couple days, but I'll keep it to myself. All sorts of stuff going on. Technically, I've had a thumb drive and two hard drives fail, so I was kind of PO'd about that. I think I've recovered most of my data on my Mac.
I had my first hard drive fail on the big server last week.
So I'll give you kind of the sour grapes. We'll do a little mini PC version of it. Originally, I had CrashPlan running, so all of the Macs were backed up on a time capsule and CrashPlan, and anything else was backed up on CrashPlan, and then CrashPlan screwed us all, and I've told them that in person. I never set up anything else, and my Mac, unfortunately, was having trouble backing up, and I deleted the old time capsule files, and the hard drive crashed as I was backing it up. So I now have Duplicati running. So Duplicati for the win. That's cross-platform. It's serverless, so it just connects to storage on the back end. The storage could be FTP, NFS, any cloud-based solution. So if you're not backing up, please do. I've never needed a backup until the last 2 weeks, and I got screwed. So
yeah, I have a parity disk on mine, which is the only reason that I was able to get mine up and running again. But I'll have to look that up. I've never looked into that one.
So my criteria, one, open source, because after CrashPlan screwed us, I really liked CrashPlan. I liked it so much, I even paid for their cloud solution, an annual subscription. But I had the cloud and I had my local. So open source, multi-OS, so the big three, Linux, Windows, Mac, and it's got a version. And so Duplicati does all of that, and so I'm happy with it. I got it set up on my Mac already. I got to set it up on the other computers in the house.
That's good to hear. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, and I'll say, no one really cares about backup or really does backup until you have a catastrophic failure. That, to me, is one of the most unfortunate truths of my computing life that I've witnessed. And I'll just say, the only advice I give to anybody when they ask about backup is, and it's been this way, I think, for 20 years now, 3, 2, 1. You have to have your data in 3 places, okay? You have to have 2 of them like as actual backups, not as copies, but as actual backups, things you don't touch. They're just backed up to. And one of them has to be off-site. I love the idea of NASs. I love the idea of local storage, but we have to have data stored someplace else because you never know when you're going to have a true catastrophic disaster. And besides having to worry about, where you're going to sleep and your clothes and your stuff, you really don't want to have an extra layer of frustration worrying about, your family's pictures or other sensitive data.
So let me talk to that a little bit. My mean time between failure is on the order of 10 years. I haven't had anything fail in like 10 plus years, but in the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 drives fail, which I was like, no way. No way. I've had older.
I'm kind of impressed that you had flash drives fail. I don't think I've ever had one fail.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. My Mac rebooted on its own for some reason, and then I got the circle with the slash through it, so it wouldn't boot off the media. All right, the other problem with the Mac is APFS. There are very few tools for APFS. The open source tools, I couldn't figure out how to work them. Ended up paying $79 for what was the tool? There's a Canadian tool.
Transmac?
I ended up. No, it was
Transmac
like RT.
was always the one that I used. Oh no, Transmac makes Windows.
So RStudio.
They're a good company.
So there was like another Hong Kong one. It kind of looked. It seemed like there were 4 or 5 versions under different names of the Hong Kong one, and it just seemed a little too scammy. So I went with the Canadian.
That's good to hear. Yeah.
I know, but I mean, Canadians also make Adobe stuff, so you know.
That's called Fusion, also.
Well, they didn't make Cold Fusion. Correct me if I'm wrong. They bought it.
Right. Well, Cold Fusion's a redheaded stepchild of several companies. Yes. It originally was J.J. Allaire in a room with 3 other people, and that got bought by Macromedia. Macromedia got bought by Adobe.
So speaking of buying things, Dor, how are you doing? And then I'm going to tackle, hopefully it's an elephant in the room for everyone and not just me.
Well, I'll say I haven't bought anything in like fluffy air quotes. I have attempted to 3D print like enclosures for my Raspberry Pi with the Ice Tower cooler and things like that. I have seen things coming on the radar that I would like to buy, but I haven't actually spent any money or like built anything is what I'll say. Now, the caveat is I'm still loving the Phoenix Linux OS.
Are you?
And it turns out the desktop I like is actually literally called Phoenix. F-E-N-I-X, I believe. And they have their own distribution. So I don't know if I'm going to actually switch over to that or I'm just going to keep running what I'm running right now. But the good news is with time, all these operating systems just get more efficient, better tuned, better tweaked for better experiences. So right now I'm just like in that little like lurch of being happily satisfied with what I have, and I don't really feel the absolute need to upgrade anything.
You know, I just looked up I just looked it up, and I've been thinking about switching over, at least partially, having some sort of Pi on my next dock. And just from their logo, I think I'm going to try it out. I love the Phoenix logo.
Right. Well, let's explain to the new listeners what is the next dock.
Oh yeah. So the next dock is, let's see, when did they come out? When the Moto Atrix came out, they came out with what was called a lap dock, and what it was you plug the phone in the back, and it turned your phone basically into an old-fashioned version of the Samsung DeX. A lot better though, and this was a long time ago. But me and I think you, Dor, have been messing around with that lap dock, trying to make it work for years now, and finally, I gave up and ordered this NextDock Touch, which is a company out of the US, and they made this. It's an HDMI input, keyboard, trackpad, and touchscreen. So basically, you can plug any HDMI in and plug the USB side into it, and upgrade your computer, upgrade your laptop to anything. That's my big excitement about it is you always have a really nice aluminum backlit keyboard, touchscreen, but it never. You can always upgrade the motherboard per se, with a single board computer, or even I've even plugged it into my main server. You know, just as a separate, you know, when I don't want to walk all the way to the front where my screens are, if I'm working on something, I just plug it into that. And I think it could be a great thing for server admins. But, you know, for me, it's just fun.
Yeah, you kind of like right there, like tickled the part where this really does like fulfill a ancient tribal dream of upgrading a laptop, because that's essentially what it is. It allows you to freely upgrade your laptop in the same manner of how a Raspberry Pi let you very easily switch out, in air quotes, hard drives by just switching SD cards. With this, you can literally upgrade your experience on this device merely by plugging it into something else. And yet you still have the backlit keyboard. You still have the exact same keyboard that you're using with the exact same screen. The fact that they finally got around to offering this in touch, I will say, is like the sweet spot where it's almost getting me to jump.
Yeah, and that was actually what got me to jump, was that the touchscreen and the fact that I was able to get in on the first shipment, and it turned out, they did a very good job with this thing. The only thing that and I'm pretty picky when it comes to keyboards, so I mean, granted, it's going to be a membrane keyboard, but I've seen laptop keyboards that are pretty almost clicky, and this one seems a little squishy, but it's a laptop keyboard. I'm not too worried about it. Other than that, I have not had any problems with it. I've even set up the new Chromecast and used it as a laptop.
Very cool. Did you get the it looks like it may be optional magnetic side mount?
I did not order that because it was not available at the time, but I'm thinking about 3D printing that because it does not look too, major.
Oh yeah, exactly. That was my thought. Exactly, because we've seen how you can easily start a 3D print, pause the 3D print, drop the magnets in, and then continue your 3D print, and you could easily have something like this.
Exactly. I did that with a GoPro mount and I did a GoPro mount, and I dropped the nut that goes to the tripod base, and it worked out great.
Gotcha. Well, and it helps when I actually read the page and it says the magnetic side mount is coming to Amazon January 2021. So if you want to support them, you can wait and then buy it. But if you just want one, I would say child's play to just print one.
I'll probably print one and then buy one to support one. Supposed to support them, And if I don't, do it perfect or whatever, at least I have the quote unquote official one.
Gotcha. Very cool. Do you have any new mini related news except for your stuff failing there, Rich? You were also migrating off of one mini to another, right?
Say what?
You were also migrating services and stuff from one.
Oh yeah. So my Odroid Hc4, which has been unbelievable trooper for I don't know how many years now. Probably more than 4 years. Because I've been running, Plex, radar, sonar, time capsule, probably 2 or 3 other services off the Odroid Hc4. It's been a frickin' champ. And I guess, over the years with software updates and bloat, it isn't cutting it on Plex anymore. So I probably have had the Odroid N2 kicking around for more than a year and just haven't officially committed it to one thing. I did a bunch of demo setups or test rigs, but it is now my new sonar, radar, Plex, whatever multi-server, and it's really kicking ass. So Odroid N2, now this is the original Odroid N2. There's a new version out there, and I'll always pimp Ameridroid, good source to get it, and definitely look around on their site, because I think there's one of them, it's called like the multimedia, and it comes with the case power supply and might even be an SD card. Don't hold me to that part. And it would be cheaper than if you bought them a la carte. So hunt around on their site if you're going to buy one. And it wouldn't hurt if you said you heard it from Mini PC, because they know we're out there.
And actually, speaking of Ameridroid, they have a case for the Xu4 that is a Nintendo 64 looking case that has where the Nintendo symbol used to be. It's actually an LCD screen, so you can change.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
it's really neat. It's really neat.
Let's see. I got the. Who was selling it? What was it called? The Rock 64s for the cheapy Rock 64s. So I got 2 of those. Got them on Amazon.
Yeah, the security company.
Yeah, whatever. I got the box. It's on the other side. I could reach it, but I got 2 of those. I think I'm going to set them up with Octoprint for one for each 3D printer. And I've been running for maybe more than a week. Anyhow, if you're interested in VMware ESXi, I've got 2 Raspberry Pis. Actually, here's my 8 gig, my other 8 gig Raspberry Pi. But I've got 2 Raspberry Pis, one 8 gig, one 4 gig, running ESXi and vCenter. The VCSA only runs on Intel, so I have another ESXi NUC running ESXi with the VCSA, and the vCenter is basically the manager, so you don't have to log into each individual ESXi host. And in case you don't know, VMware ESXi, that's a Type 1 hypervisor, so you can put VMs on it. So I've got VMs running on it now. I haven't been able to get the high availability configured. I'm probably just doing something wrong. Oh, I probably have to do an update video on that because there's been new stuff coming out. I used a 64 gig thumb drive, and you can specify that when you install ESXi, which only takes a few minutes, like seriously, under 5 minutes, that it will only use 8 gigs of the 64, and you can use the rest of it as a data store, a local data store. So there's a little command in there. So there's a couple of things I've learned recently. And like my YouTube channel, so youtube.com/flyingrich, I've got a video on like end-to-end setting up Raspberry Pi with ESXi, how to do it, because there's a whole bunch of steps. And I'll probably have to do some update videos on some of the tips and tricks I've learned over the last week or 2.
You know, I need to do a YouTube channel or something. You know, I do too many random things to not actually have something.
So
yeah,
just do Instagram videos.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could. I'll try that.
Yeah, if you're more random, Instagram is probably better for that.
Yeah, I definitely am.
And I thought I'd take a quick pause and just say hello to Red, John, Captain Zero, and Chatter. If you guys would like to participate in the live chat, you can follow us either on Twitter, Facebook, in Discord, or on Patreon. We try to post when we go live, and all these guys are right now in the YouTube chat. Now, I got to bring up in like soft, fluffy air quotes the elephant in the room. And I can kind of say that there's kind of almost 2 of them. The first one I'm going to say is the new announced Odroid Hc4. I got to say that slow because Odroid's naming convention apparently is very rigid, where they like numbers and letters and nothing else. No real world word type of things. And this is the Odroid Hc4, which is basically a $72 device. It's going to be available late October. The long and the short of it is like the Odroid, I want to say H2, but in more of a NAS type form factor. So it's the Odroid Hc4. It comes with a case, a small LCD screen, and it's more of like a toaster setup where you can drop hard drives in. The specs on it is it's a quad-core processor A55, 1.8 gigahertz, 4 gigs of DDR RAM with 32-bit bus, dual SATA 3 ports for 3.5-inch and or 2.5-inch storage, UHS 1 capable micro SD card slot, so you put your main OS on that, hypothetically, and you put your actual data drives on your full-size hard drives. Full gigabit Ethernet, only one HDMI 2.0 port, which kind of makes me a little bit sad. Digital audio over HDMI, a USB 2.0 host, so you can add more ports if you want to, but only USB 2.0. UART serial connector, IR receiver, and then of course your barrel jack connector, because they love barrel jacks. 84 by 90 by 25 millimeters, and they say it's 280 grams, including heatsink, fan, and case. So I'll first say I love the fact that Odroid keeps putting out new hardware. I love the fact that they're literally trying to target certain use cases, certain aspects, certain things that people like. But I have no problem saying out loud after back and forth thing with Captain Zero a couple times about this. This is one of those things. It's good, but it's definitely not for someone like me. Is the way that I'll put it.
Okay, so look, I got 3 things about it, but why do you say it's not for someone like you?
Well, I don't need a. Some people complain about the toaster form factor, and it's very easy for dirt and dust to get inside of it, which I will say I don't care. If I wanted a lid over top the toaster, I would just 3D print a lid. But I don't need a NAS with like a little screen on it. Number one.
Why not?
That was my first item.
Well,
Because if the screens give me the date and time, which is what it's showing, I'm like, yeah, that's more than useless. It might as well flash 12 o'clock like my VCR.
Right now, I mean, I'm sure it's reprogrammable to say other things, is what I'll say. I'm sure it is. But when I think of NAS, I think of like a Ronco, set it and forget it and shove it in a hole and never look at it again for the rest of my life until drives fail.
Yes.
You know, I'm
wondering if you're going to hit. I had 3 points, and I'm wondering if you're going to hit the other 2.
My thought is, what if you have like a storage space available? That way you don't have to look up on anything other than when you look at it, it actually shows how much storage space you have left.
SSH and DF space -H.
Yeah,
well, yeah, but you don't have to use another computer to do it.
Right. I mean, it would be cool if it could tell you like the number of active connections, the amount of free space and stuff like that. And that's cool. Don't get me wrong. That would be cool.
If it's cycled through like CPU temperature, percentage full on disk 1, percentage full disk 2, network traffic. Yeah, all right. I buy that. All right. So my points are.
Well, I gotta say the two other things that I don't want to say made me upset about it, but it proved to me that it's not for me, is what I'll say.
Okay.
Number one, only USB 2.0. I mean, this is 2020.
Oh, I missed that. All right, that would be my 4th item then.
Right. There's no reason to not have USB 3.0 or USB Type-C. I mean, really. The other thing is, I almost, and Captain Zero had to bring this to my attention, I'm almost besmirched at the fact that it only accepts what I, in hindsight, now consider archaic, old 2.5 or 3.5 disk form factors. Why don't you support M.2 NVMe drives? Now, maybe that's version 2 of this, or maybe 3 of this, because they are coming down in price insanely. After that, I almost don't want now the idea of a toaster. If I was a computer technician and I was constantly dropping drives in and doing work with them and backing up and cloning them, don't get me wrong, this would be like already in a cart waiting to buy. But I don't do that kind of task. So I'll just say it's a cool setup. It's a cool thing. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to push people who I believe could use this towards this, but I don't think I would.
Okay, so you kind of brought to light another point. I have 2 other beefs with it. And don't get me wrong, I think it's a great product. I'd buy one if I saw the need. Now, let me make it more. I would buy one if I could convince myself I have a need for it, which wouldn't take a whole lot of arm twisting. IR receiver. It's not a set-top box. Maybe they had the hardware kicking around, whatever. I don't get that. And realistically, I don't want my dock to have an HDMI port. Not like I don't want it, but it's not necessary. You kind of quip that it didn't have two, but I don't know. And maybe I'm a FUD. Maybe it's like maybe my toaster should have two HDMI ports on it, and that's my desktop computer. I don't know. I mean, could be cool, but realistically, I might be just retro thinking. I might not be 21st century thinking. I like my dock to be a dock. And now the only leverage on that is if they're actually talking SATA to the CPU and not going through a USB bus. But then it really doesn't make it. If it's two separate USB buses, that's okay. If it's a single USB bus, then that's might as well be a dock, a dumb dock, in my mind. But again, you could run Open Media Vault on this. There's so many great solutions. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to trash the product. Some of the features don't make a whole lot of sense to me. I think it's a great price. I think it's great packaging. I think, I'm not talking down on the product. I'm just like head scratching.
Yeah, and I don't know any NAS. I'm not highly educated. I don't know any NAS that actually has a video out. And granted, taking it off would have only saved probably 15 cents or something. But I don't know why it's even there in the first place.
Well, all right, like the Odroid Hc4 and the Hc2 don't have video out, period. So you have to do that all over the wire, your configuration of that. So, when you drop your micro SD card in there, it's got to be... so it also has an Ethernet, so there's no Wi-Fi, and I'm assuming there's no wireless connectivity on this either.
Nope, in typical Odroid fashion, no onboard Bluetooth or Wi-Fi.
But it has an IR receiver.
And again, it literally taking it off would have probably only saved like 3 pennies. So I'm going to guess that's why they just, in air quotes, left it on.
Okay, they got a block diagram on the CPU here, and it says they replaced the USB 3.0 to a SATA chip. All right, so they're... Besides, let me make sure I read that right. Replace the USB... Okay, they replaced the USB 3.0 to SATA chip used in previous designs with a PCIe to SATA. Okay, good. All right, that's a big plus. That's a big performance gain. Hey, look, I think realistically, if I didn't have the N2, I've got 2 hard drives hooked up to my Odroid N2, and I've had 2 hard drives hooked up to my Odroid Hc4 for a very long time, and if this has N2 type performance, what CPU is it? AM Logic 905X3. I don't know what the N2 has.
I'll say this: the N2 is better. It goes up to, I want to say, 2.1, so it technically goes up to a higher clock speed. But also, the N2 has a big little form factor, which is more power efficient. Yada yada yada. If I needed high performance NAS, and I'm saying this slow because I have to really be sure I'm being truthful to myself. If I truly needed high speed NAS and to have the drives basically mirrored, because that's the only reason to me to have 2 drive bases, so you could literally have the drives mirrored, so when one drive fails, you can simply pull that drive out, put another drive in, and have it, refresh itself kind of thing. If I needed that kind of instant backup right there, and I needed true high-speed NAS, I would have probably jumped on this already. I have my Rgb connected to a drive via USB 3, and I don't want to say it's been perfect, but it's been pretty dang solid, and when anybody uses it, no one complains about its speed until they tried Nextcloud Talk, but I don't think Nextcloud Talk would be much better on that board. So I like the fact that they're doing this again. And then here's what I'll say to Brett. Besides the screen, what about it made you think this is like, something like jump on?
Brett, nobody's hearing you.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for me, it was the idea that it has an output, a video output, makes me think it could boot off of whatever you put into it, and that makes it more of a different idea than just a regular NAS. If you can have one drive in there that's always a backup drive and one drive that boots up, so you just back them up constantly, but you can still boot off of that drive or somehow boot into that drive.
Okay, so this has a USB 2.0, so you could put a mouse keyboard dongle into it, and you could plug a monitor into it. I guess, but and I don't know what. I don't know if I'm a Linux GUI hater, because everything I have that's Linux is headless. So I mean, you could.
Well, I'll say the only thing that like worries me about having the video out is they don't mention a GPU.
Yeah, I was kind of looking for that. Yeah, I was doing a comparison between the Odroid. I'll tell you what, I need this. This is, I'll give you my use case, although I probably have other hardware that'll fit the bill. So I have a lawn shed on the south end of my property that has power on it. And I used to run PiAware off like a PVC mast on the back of the shed. And so I know my Wi-Fi gets out back there. You're talking about off-site backup. So if I set this up with a couple of hard drives and just ran another duplicati server in my shed, then if my house goes, splat, I've got a quote-unquote off-site, not off-premises, but off-site backup.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm going to explain it to my wife, why I need it.
Good luck with that.
Have fun.
Hey, look, my wife got a new car. I can do whatever I want right now.
Keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing. I really do, I want to give money to companies like Raspberry Pi, like Odroid, like Pine 64, like Freedom Elect, like all these other companies. This is one that, and I'm literally sitting here looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hard drives just sitting there doing nothing. Where if I bought this, at least 2 of them could be doing something, and I'm not going to pull the trigger because I have plenty of devices with USB 3 interfaces, and if I spent pennies, $10, I could buy USB 3 enclosures and just take those drives, put them in the enclosure, and plug it up USB 3 and probably get satisfactory performance out of them, is the way I'll put it.
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking what I'm going to be doing with my Odroid Hc4, and I probably could take my Odroid Hc4, throw it in that shed with some USB hard drives, and have that as my off-site or out-of-house backup, let's call it.
Then you can use the screen to tell you things.
Well, but I got the screen from the Rock, whatever, the Rock 64s that I got from, that were repackaged. What's it called?
Yeah, but are they out there?
Well, I could use the screen. I could just plug it into my Odroid. Recon Sentinel.
Yeah. Okay, now the other, in air quotes, elephant in the room is that Raspberry Pi Foundation announced the Raspberry Pi Compute Module 4 is now on sale, and it is only $25. And only $25. I don't verbatim typically quote things, but I will say only $25 isn't bad at all for the specs that we see in this new compute module.
But you have to get the dev board with it.
Yes, you have to get something to connect it to, or else it's literally a very
Toaster.
poor doorstop.
Yeah, too thin for a doorstop.
exactly. Unless
Sorry,
it's like a Barbie
1.5
doll house.
gigahertz is that the same as the? I know you can overclock the Pi 4 to 2 gigahertz. This is 1.5.
I'm gonna say I believe it is the same processor. It also says it can do 4K, 60 frames, D coding, dual HDMI interfaces at up to 4K, single lane PCI Express 2.0 interface. You can get it up to 8 gigs of RAM per unit. Of course, 1 gig is the $25 version. And you can actually get it with onboard eMMC storage ranging from 8 to 32 gigs. So
that's what I kind of liked about it. That was the thing that kind of brought my attention to it.
yeah, because I don't know any other Raspberry Pis with eMMC storage.
None of them. Yeah.
So I'm
Alright,
happy
so-
that they're doing this, but I always question when I see this, who would even buy this thing?
Well, all right. So I'll construct the use case. So instead of having this for like a bunch of like a ESXi Raspberry Pi cluster, you could have a bunch of slightly smaller form factor. Now the onboard storage I go either way on because you can TFT boot, like ESXi can be diskless. You can TFT boot the Raspberry Pi and you don't need onboard storage. I'm more concerned about something like RAM. Now the thing that I'm kind of head scratching, why would I want dual HDMI on a compute module? What would I do with that? I could understand you have the coprocessor, the video coprocessor, because maybe you're doing, floating point operation stuff, but yeah, I'm not getting that. And Dor, I don't know if it was today. Was it today you shared a different type of dock for this?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll first say I'm sure there is some kind of use case where you would have a cluster board, have, like let's just say 4 compute modules in it, all of them dual displaying out to something.
Yeah, I could see it like a bar. A bar would be a great use case for it. Having multiple screens, having different things on each screen, only having to have 1 or 2, pies, or
Yeah,
1 pie per 2 screen.
Okay, so let me call you out on that one. The problem with that is you need a motherboard for it to dock into. If you just got a Raspberry Pi 4, you've got 2 video outputs and you just plug power into it. So that's kind of the head scratcher still.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of a permanent solution in my eyes, though. It's more of a you put it into this. You have the dock that is a little bit more permanent than our development boards. That's what I've seen that they kind of advertise it as.
All right, so it's got gig Ethernet, but I see an antenna kit. So I'm guessing it's got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth also?
Yes.
See, why would you... See, that's another head-scratcher one.
Well, it also has, if I remember right, if not most of the same chipset, isn't it? So why would they get rid of it?
Well,
that's my thought.
Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are optional, so you can get it.
Oh, all right. It says optional 2.45 gigahertz, 802.11. Okay, yeah. All right, that makes sense. Optional, definitely gig Ethernet must have. So here's one thing on here that I kind of like. If they have something for it, single lane PCI Express 2.0 interface. So that could be cool because the motherboard that it plugs into, or carrier board, whatever you want to call it, that it plugs into could have PCI slots.
Yep. Yeah, and the Turing Pi 2 was the thing that I linked to. It's a mini ITX cluster board that can take up to I want to say 7 Raspberry Pi 4 compute modules. And I had to say that nice and slow.
And that's the old ones, right?
No, it's the brand new ones.
Are you sure? Because the new one doesn't have a DIMM slot, isn't DIMM compatible.
Yeah, this is just recent.
Oh.
Is that today? Is that seriously released today?
Huh.
I believe here's
Yeah,
what I'll
you're
say.
right. I see. Yeah.
Both
All right.
of those boards,
Looking,
the old Raspberry Pi 4 compute module and the new Raspberry Pi 4 compute module, they have different connectors onto their baseboard. Their baseboard still connects via a DIMM, I believe.
Okay, that makes more sense. I saw something else the other day that didn't show the DIMM slot. I didn't realize that you can plug it into a DIMM slot at all.
So, there's another interface board. So the compute module plugs into the DIMM, and then the DIMM plugs into the carrier board.
Yes, I believe is the way I'll put it.
Well, that's like the lower picture shows that. And it looks like there's only 4 on this board, which 4 is good.
Well, it says 4, but then up in the top it says it can take. So what I'm going to say is the 4 is the low end of the board. They have a higher end version of the board, which they say can take 7. For some reason, they only show you the 1. I don't understand why.
Okay,
but
should I ask the elephant in the room question? How much is it?
That, I'll to like quote my Belgian friend, I'll say that is a great question. They are expecting to launch next year, but they do not announce a price yet.
Next year's coming.
I know.
Yeah, 2020. Holy cow, next year, yay!
Well, and this is the kind of thing where I'm sure if I fit in a very specific niche or niche, this kind of board would really get me excited and can't wait to do stuff with. But I am unaware what this niche is and who these people are who are looking forward to this board, but I'm sure somebody is the way I'll put it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't see a use case for it, but I'm sure there's plenty.
Well, again, ESXi cluster. So if you want to do a home lab, like if you're somebody like me and wants to have a home lab to do stuff with, either Kubernetes or an ESXi cluster, the 7-slot board is for the old module. I'm just looking at it.
Gotcha.
I clicked through on the link. And it said, blah, 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 product page, available pre-order $128, blah, 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 7 module. All right, so fully populated, it would be $300 with 7 compute modules, which
not bad.
Decent
not
price. Bad. Yeah, because I've seen some of these things, they were like $250, $300 for just the carrier board. And I'm like, you're goofing on me, right? And actually, I had a Twitter chat with McMake, and I'm like, because I was commenting like another board, I'm like, I could design that for less. And he's like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the only, here's the one caveat I'll say. The one use case I can see these kinds of ARM cluster boards being extremely desirable are for people who require 0 Intel exploits in their ecosystem. Whether that be China or the CIA or NSA, whatever, they all have the same goal in mind, and that's don't trust anybody.
Speaking of Intel, did you guys talk last week about, or last time about ARM being bought?
I don't think we went into much on that, no.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I did hear that NVIDIA bought ARM, or bought the rights to ARM.
Well, ARM was last held by SoftBank. NVIDIA put in like a bid for it. And I have very mixed feelings about it. One, somebody has to buy it. SoftBank made it very clear they need to unload it. NVIDIA has been on a tear, like a ridiculous tear the last 2 years, bringing in bank hand over fist, thanking to everyone trying to do Bitcoin this and Bitcoin that. They've been making an absolute killing. So they have plenty of cash on hand is logic. They did swear, like pinkies crossed, that if we buy it, we're going to make sure that everything remains as open as possible, and we're going to like further the development for the greater community, not just for us, kind of thing. I don't have really much ill will towards a company like Nvidia. Nothing like a company versus Oracle, or a company like Apple, a company like even Creative Labs or Adobe or Microsoft, or Nvidia. To me, I don't want to say they're good guys, but they're not horrible.
They're not bad, they're not really bad guys. I mean, I don't see much, like you said, I don't see much problem with that happening compared to the other people that could have gotten it.
Right. And like what I would say is, how would companies like Samsung feel about that? Because Samsung does a lot of ARM stuff. How will Qualcomm feel about it? How will all these other companies feel about it will be, to me, the indicator of is this a good thing or a bad thing for the industry? Because I still believe the ultimate future of everything, the number of ARM chips are going to way outnumber everything else. They already do, but it's only going to get more drastic, I think, as time goes on. Yeah, I mean, hindsight's going to be 2020, but right now, there's nothing negative about it that I can think of.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, it could be really nice. It could be having a little bit more money behind it, having a little bit more. I don't want to say development, but because I don't know much about SoftBank, but could be good.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't like governments jumping in, like, approving or disproving of things, because government's really only interested is government themselves. That's why I look at industries to try to define it. And I will say, all the podcasts I listen to, whether it's Financial Times, Economist, Fox, MSN, NPR, all of them, none of them that I can tell say this is a disaster. What are they doing? This is going to kill ARM. Everybody seems to at least be moderately positive about it.
Well, it could have been worse. Intel or Apple could have bought them.
I'm pretty sure if Intel would have tried to buy them, that would have been stopped by some government. And if Apple would have bought it, I think I might have just given up and went back to like stone tablets.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I at least wanted to look at, and I don't know how much we actually went into detail on this one, line 273 in the notes. There's more companies out there than just, the Raspberry Pi, Odroid, and Pine. This other one, NanoPi RS2 and the NanoPi Neo 3, tested with Armbian here on CNX software. I will just put it like this. Brian bought one of these, and he was, I'll say, pretty satisfied with it. The only thing he wasn't satisfied with was the temperature. It definitely got a little bit warm. And I don't want to say I don't care if my single board computer gets warm, because it's fixable with proper ventilation, proper heatsink, proper fan, proper cooling. Any single board computer, even Orange Pis, can actually be usable to a degree. But over here on CNX software, they literally go through obsessively compulsive levels of detail on how they set this thing up and how they test everything. And just a quick reminder, I believe it was the NanoPi R2S is the one that could be a really good gateway appliance, because it literally had dual gig NICs on it. And the other device could have been like a standalone server, is the way that I'll put it. Just doing its, in air quotes, own thing. I do like NanoPi. I've owned more than a couple NanoPi devices. I think they work just fine, is the way I'll put them. I keep wanting them to get better because I keep wanting more competition. Friendly Elect is the company that makes them, and I believe they're based out of South Korea. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can convince Brian to at least record his thoughts on his NanoPi, and we could have it on the show. Yeah, and I'll say if you click the link on the notes to CNX Software, and then you click back through their original look at the NanoPi RS2, and you scroll down, you'll see the NanoPi RS2 in a yellow case. And that case is the exact case where if you look on Alibaba, AliExpress, eBay for what's called a pocket router or a travel router, you will find this is the exact board that a lot of companies are putting in their hardware and selling it as their own device. So this is the kind of device that has actually been developed on for at least almost a year now. So if you need like a pocket router, a travel router, or like a gateway device that is literally pocketable, I definitely encourage everyone to check out this NanoPi R2S.
So this is the one I thought I was ordering the R2S, but I ordered an aluminum heatsink case from AliExpress. But it showed pictures of the board in it. I thought it was case and board. And I opened a dispute. They sent me a letter saying, your dispute has been accepted. You know, your offer has been accepted. I said, hey, look, this is $25. It's just the case, not the board. It said motherboard in the description. I'll give you, $5 for it or take it back. I don't care. And then I click through into it. It says, no, they want you to pay full freight. And like, tough luck, Charlie. I'm like, I'm talking to my credit card company.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about living in America with credit cards. Never do a debit transaction, always do a credit transaction, because you could always just call up the company and say decline the transaction and done. Your butt is saved.
Yeah, they really made it misleading. So yeah, I ordered it while I was on the show with you. And so I did order an R2S. I don't know where the hell that is. It's still in China. But I figured that would be something good, maybe to set up VLANs for my home lab.
Yep, I agree. I will say, AliExpress is like eBay, is like Amazon. For instance, the wife, I love her dearly. She went on her own and purchased a laptop 2 weeks ago, and then 3 days after she ordered it, she realized I have to cancel this order because this is a scam. You always got to look at this seller. You always got to be very particular, very skeptical of anything you buy on any of these services. Always. Somebody is always out there trying to make a buck off of our, twitchy fingers where we just want to click buy because we've all done it. I'm happy you caught it in time, Rich, where you can tell your credit card company, because nobody likes to be on that end of the stick.
Indeed.
Right. One more link I wanted to bring only because, I'm going to say it like this. There's like podcast Door Geek, and then there's 9 to 5 working Stephen McLaughlin. The two shall never meet, by the way, or else the universe might collapse in on itself. At work, I have to use Visual Studio. And when I use Visual Studio, I actually try to offload most of my tasks off of Visual Studio and put them on VS Code. And then I actually don't use VS Code. I actually use VS Codium, which has all the binary blobs from Microsoft taken out, long story short. But VS Code is a fantastic text editor, IDE kind of thing. It almost makes me not need Notepad++, and I've literally had Notepad++ in my technical holster now for like 20 years kind of thing. The long and the short of it is Microsoft's VS Code officially comes to the Raspberry Pi and Chromebook in the version 1.5 update. If you enjoy advanced text editing, here's the example I use. Not every text editor will let you pick columns of text to copy, where you actually can say, like, the first 5 characters of these 10 lines, just copy that. Not everything to the right of it, just that. If you enjoy advanced text manipulation, then you really need to check out VS Code or VS Codium. And now you can check it out on your Raspberry Pi, on your Chromebook. And I will say, I have it loaded right now on my Pinebook Pro. I've had it loaded on my Raspberry Pi for a while now. I am shocked at how well it works, even though it is an actual extremely heavy text editor because it's actually an IDE. I definitely encourage people to check it out, see if you like it, see if it's usable. Stuff on Linux like Genie is perfectly usable and it's perfectly fine, but VS Code is more powerful.
I got a question. I've been using Sublime Text for a while, and Notepad++ was a good standby for a very long time. Do you use Sublime Text, and how would you compare it to Sublime?
I used Sublime for over 3 years, what I'll say, and I did pay the guy money because it's a really good product. Sublime is definitely more versatile than Notepad++. There's still a couple things Notepad++ does that nobody else seems to do, so I always have it there. VS Code, I hate to say it, it is definitely more functional than Sublime just because of the extensions and add-ons. They are like insane. This is like Firefox back in 2002, where the add-ons never stop.
Yeah, you can do, I've actually been messing around with it a little bit. You can replace the Arduino entirely with it. You can program the ESP32s. You can program. You can even program Marlin for the 3D printers on it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really good, and I'm trying to learn coding more, and it's definitely helped.
Yeah, in the interface, you can have right there live interactions with your Bash terminal, your Windows terminal, your PowerShell terminal, or any of those other things. You can program against C#, Java, the Arduino kind of thing,
Yeah.
Lua. It is all right there. It is an unbelievably extensible interface, and I truly believe the more extensions you have, the more add-ons you have, the more successful you're going to be. And this might be the most extensible IDE I think I've ever seen. Now, I'm always going to use Notepad++ from time to time, and when I want to do very specific things, I still probably will load Sublime. But for my daily driver, I am finding VS Code to meet most of my needs.
I guess I gotta have it. It does Cold Fusion also.
It does everything. It literally does everything, and that's one of the things that I will say they've done smartly in it.
The only thing that is a little bit of a barrier for me is I'm used to the Arduino, where you start it up and you install it and you start it up and you hit upload. That's it. With the VS Code, you do need to set up things, and I'm pretty novice when it comes to stuff like that, and it's gotten the better of me trying to set up MicroPython, but MicroPython's very new still, so.
Yeah, and I will say again, I've said this now for a couple of years, if you want to really dip your toe in the programming ecosystem and you've never done it before, Python is the best entry point because of 2 reasons. I'll say more than 2 reasons, but the 2 basic reasons, it's nearly human readable, commonsensical, makes sense. But 2, the jobs that are out there for Python pay pretty dang good money.
Yeah, I don't know if you looked at the chat, but there's a VI fan out there.
And there can be. VI has its place. It's definitely not here in Joppatown where I live in my house, is what I'll say. Because every time I load the damn thing up, it takes me 5 minutes to exit.
I'm a Nano or a Pico guy.
Nano does a good enough job. To be honest, on most of my ARM stuff, I use LeafPad, but it's like literally like Notepad on Windows. It's so empty. So the couple things I'll say is we're finally coming around towards the end of the year. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do is, if you can, sit down, start your email client of choice up, send an email to minipc@podnutz.com. We're about the end of 2020. 2021's right around the corner. What kind of things do you think we're going to see or have available to us in the mini PC type of verse? Because I can tell you, like I've told people now for a couple of years now, this is only going to incredibly ramp up. Everything's going to keep moving faster. Everything's going to keep moving quicker. Everything's going to keep getting more dynamic. Thanks to Elon Musk and his Starlink and all these people putting up cube satellites, tens of thousands of cube satellites in the last couple weeks, literally in the last couple weeks. All these prices are going to keep barreling down insanely on all of our mini computing needs, and all these mini computers are just going to keep getting more and more useful and more functional as time comes on. So I'll ask everybody, what is the kind of things you would like to see come to fruition? And I'm asking you guys too. Here in the next month, let's sit down and let's have a show where we just talk about what do we predict.
So
but there's only one thing I have to say. Humans are horrible at predicting, but I think we might have some extra insight.
So can we talk Starlink for a minute? As far as I know, the secret sauce on the Starlink is the laser satellite-to-satellite connectivity, and they don't have it yet.
They do have it. They've actually ran a couple tests where they're getting 100 meg connectivity on the initial testing, and the people involved with it believe they're going to be able to get to almost 200 meg speeds on everything. They still need, I want to say, another 100 devices before they believe they're going to be able to actually run the actual test, to where if they pass the actual test, they're I want to say they're going to get $30 million of grant money from the federal government.
Well, all right. So one of the cool things in aviation is XM, and there's XM satellite data available for aviation, weather data, that kind of thing. So all you need is a Garmin GPS in your plane, or a Garmin product. I'm sure other products at this point, and like a $40 a month subscription instead of a multi-thousand, probably tens of thousands of dollars weather radar system on your plane that is big, heavy, needs maintenance, and the installation has all sorts of issues. Plus, you have to know how to set it up and operate it, on a regular basis. So, two things like ADSB that give you position data, peer-to-peer position data, basically, and XM has been a big deal. Likewise, if we have data in the cockpit, satellite data, bidirectional, that's crazy. That's really, really fantastic.
Well, I'll say GPS, it's 2020. It hasn't happened yet. A GPS is actual. We don't use GPS anymore. We haven't used GPS in 8 years. We're using a GPS, and a GPS in 2020 will be declared officially dead soon. China has already launched their predecessor to GPS, to where they can get within, I want to say it was under 3 meters of accuracy.
Well, that's their Baidu cloud. There's Baidu, GLONASS, and what's the European one? I forget. Magellan.
But that European one's garbage, is what I'll say. Elon is swearing Starlink can not only do ubiquitous, high-speed, low-latency communications, but they believe, thanks to a couple of DoD contracts they got, they're also going to be able to offer a more highly accurate global positioning type system with the Starlink satellite system, to where he said he believes they can get within, I want to say it was 30 centimeters of accuracy, something ridiculous. So I'm all for Starlink as a thing being successful, as long as we individual citizens are the beneficiaries of it. Look, if he can literally offer to the federal government high-speed internet to everyone, whether you're in the heart of Brooklyn, New York, or you're in the smallest town in Wyoming, if he can give them the same types of access to information, I am perfectly okay with the United States government just throwing money at his face.
I have a friend, he lives outside of Gainesville, Florida, and, he's pretty much on dial-up speeds.
The place I used to work was, they had nothing. And that was right next to a freeway in a industrial area in the middle of Ontario, which is Ontario, California, but I mean, there's no reason. We had to use literal satellite hues, and it was absolutely horrible. I couldn't even get anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a libertarian capitalist at heart, but the government has made back deals with internet service providers in individual jurisdictions to do certain things and to ignore certain things. I've been on the lucky end of the stick where everywhere I've moved, I've had really, really good access. Every place I've worked, I've had really, really good access. But I know there are people that go without. And tangent, clean water should be a human right. Everyone should have the availability to have clean water. I don't know when access to the internet becomes a human right. If you say it can't be a human right, then I don't know what to say. I don't know when it's going to become a human right, but I keep thinking we cannot deny access to this kind of stuff to people sooner or later. I don't know when that is. Maybe it's today, maybe it's 20 years from now, and when that time comes, companies need to be able to make it affordable enough for everybody to basically have as much information as they want, as they need it. And if the South African guy is to do it, Elon Musk is the guy to do it, then so be it. If it's somebody else, I don't care who does it. I just know I want everybody to have 300 megs up, down, everywhere.
I agree with that. I mean, I think it should be a human right, and I hope it is pretty soon. And I hope the ability to make it a human right is there pretty soon.
Well, I think it's going to happen sooner or later, but here's the thing. And I'm okay with me pushing free internet access literally to the corners of the globe, whether it be North Korea letting people access information no matter what Kim believes, whether it be in China, whether it be, the Congo in Africa kind of thing, or whether it be the Netherlands, or whether it be in the UK where they literally don't have free speech. I'm okay with helping everybody else get as much access to information and freedom as I experience. Tangent done with. Starlink, I'll say like this, Rich. The things that he's doing as a company, I love it because he's doing things that I think everybody could have done 10 years ago, but they just didn't have the initiative to do it.
Well, so I'm stuck with Comcast. I'm in an area where Comcast has got you by the nads and is twisting hard. Whereas if you're in Orlando,
some people like that.
And if you're in Orlando, Florida, there's a lot of opportunity. There's multiple carriers, and all of a sudden the prices become competitive. There's no bandwidth cap. There all sorts of freedom occurs when there's competition. I'm hoping Elon's disruptive, and I hope he's disruptive to the point that it crushes effing Comcast. That's what I'm hoping for.
Good word. I love disruption so much because it makes those billionaires, whether it be Jeff, whether it be, I don't even know who's behind Comcast, Universal. I'm good with Raspberry Pi getting nervous about competition. I'm okay with Pine 64 thinking we got to keep improving or else we're going to lose. I'm okay with people having the fear in them that they're going to lose and they're going to become like IBM was a couple years ago, kind of thing. If it means we consumers are the beneficiaries of it, and everything I've seen in my life tells me more disruption, more competition, ends up being just so damn cool with these technologies. I don't know of any other links in the notes that we had to bring. I will say there's new Chrome boxes. Unfortunately, they're still pushing $300, which I think is a little bit too expensive. We have the Google Coral Dev Board, $100, which seems cool. We have the Raspberry Pi Easy EEPROM updating with the ESXi, which I will say,
yeah, that was a big deal.
In 2 weeks, we saw was like 2 years worth of development on how to do kind of things. So I'm definitely glad for that.
Which makes me go looking. I'm almost ready to push buy. Arrow has the Coral USB version for $62.99.
I did see that as well. I don't know why I didn't bookmark it. I will say I do
Free
think
shipping.
I do think all of these interfaces, whether you're doing Visual Studio and C# development, whether you're doing Eclipse and Java development, whether you're doing whatever, the idea of offloading computing tasks is going to be baked into all these ecosystems.
That's how Amiga did it.
Exactly. So you'll be able to, hypothetically, in maybe a year or two, simply plug up a sub-$100 USB 3.0 stick to your device, render a video, and where it used to take 2 hours to render a video, now that you have this thing plugged into your device, it's going to literally like cut the time in half. It's inevitable, is what I'll say.
I'm creating an Arrow account right now.
Very cool, very cool. Brett, was there any other things you wanted to bring up? Any RGB type things? I will tell you, I've been getting really close to buying a strip of RGB lights just for the hell of it.
Oh, they're fun,
and they're so cheap.
Yeah, they're really cheap now. I have. Let's see, how much do I have left? I bet I have about 60 meters left. Yes, 60 meters. Because I had a guy that wanted me to do a bunch of work, and he fell through, and then COVID hit, and then all that. But I'm planning on doing my entire RV with it, and basically doing every section having its own basically controller. All of it being automated, all of it being controllable and syncable, all that fun stuff. But it'll be a disco rave thing, and I don't do anything that the rave people do, so I just like lights.
Gotcha. The people I helped move the past week, one was my sister-in-law and her boyfriend, unbelievably cool guy. But he literally said, and I don't know if he realized this, he said what he wanted, and I'm tempted now to try to make it. He wants a sensor to when he walks into the bathroom, the toilet knows it's him and it automatically lifts the seats. And I'm thinking, that's just an Arduino and then like one motor away.
Oh, yeah. But the question is, does he want it for anyone or just him?
Just him, and he does have like Apple Watches and stuff. So I'm sure
Okay,
could be a way we could monitor
proximity
the MAC
sensor on
address.
Bluetooth. Yeah.
Right. The other thing he said was, and I don't see why this couldn't be done either. And I've been looking for both of these projects on Hackster.io. I can't find them. The other one was a solar-powered device connected to a mailbox that only when triggered would turn on the camera inside the mailbox to see if there's anything there.
That actually would be. I'll have to send that to you because there is an ESP32 cam that is an ESP32 with a camera built in that can be. I'm pretty sure there's one that can be wireless or that can be solar powered. I know they have one that has a like a LiPo battery, but that would be perfect. You just put a little magnetic sensor on it, so when the door opens, it waits 5 seconds, takes a picture, sends it, and then that's it.
Ah, okay. I didn't think about that. You're right, because I was thinking more the camera's off, then on demand it would be on. But you're right. Having just a simple light sensor inside the mailbox would know when the mailbox is open and then trigger an alert. Got me thinking.
And yes, Rich, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, I need to get one of those. I still need to run out of my other ones though, and that won't happen for another year or two. I think I still have like 80 of them.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I mean, I literally look. He's easily 10 years younger than me. He was shocked at how much I moved and helped him move because he swore, here's some computer nerd who can't do nothing. He's like weak and whatever. He was impressed at how much of that. I'm pretty sure if I were to give him something he could stick in his mailbox that could do that, he'd be even more impressed, is what I'll say. So I want to see if I can make that like a Christmas present for him.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let me know if you need any help. I can do a lot of research. I have may not be able to do. I can edit code, but coming from scratch, I'm not the greatest. But I can definitely help you out with a lot of ways.
Dude, I live by copy and paste. Rich, is there any other things in the notes or any other topics you wanted to hit on?
Nah, just I'll pimp my site. So youtube.com/flyingrich for my ESXi ARM video. So ESXi running on the Raspberry Pi, and flyingrich.com for all of my other social media. And to anybody out there that I know Chatter on the Wire has been on some of my live streams. So thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it.
Very cool. And I will say, Rich ain't going to say it. I will say for a while there, Rich's video was literally #1 on YouTube.
It's not #1 anymore?
I don't know. When you would literally type in ESXi Raspberry Pi, Rich was literally the #1 result, which, I mean, it was obviously a video that was a little bit of painful to put together because the amount of time you had to put into it, but at least it was well worth it, is the way I'll put it.
Oh, I'm #2.
Well, I'll say this. If people listening, go search for ESXi, Raspberry Pi, click on Rich's video, let it go through the entire video, and at the very end, click the thumbs up. It will definitely help them out.
Oh, there's another video out. So this guy, wow, I'm surprised I didn't see there. Now I haven't seen, so Nova Spirit did a video, but he didn't go into detail. I was kind of surprised.
I saw that too. It was very light on detail.
All right, this guy's got a 38-minute video, Data Knox, and I've never seen him before, but he's got a good thumbnail. And actually, there's a couple out now.
Thumbnails do matter. Well, I'll just say, keep pushing forward. Just like Galaxy Quest said, never give up, never surrender. And I want to thank everyone for coming out live, whether it is Charles, Red, Chatter, Captain Zero, John, everyone. Thank you guys for coming out live. I want to thank everyone for their support. Thank everyone for their email. And again, Rich, we forgot to bring the email to the show. Maybe we can try to bring it next week. With that stated, I will say this is the show all about big talk and little machines. If there's a little machine you would like us to talk about, do not forget, just send us an email. It's very easy. minipc@podnutz.com. And if you would like to support us, again, it is super easy. Patreon.com/theminipcshow. want to thank everyone for downloading, thank everyone for their support, thank everyone for communicating, and I'll definitely talk to everyone again real soon. Well, we're still streaming live, but
yeah, but wait, we're not streaming video on YouTube anymore.
Yes, we are.
Oh, we're back to streaming? Oh, okay. All right, I'll wait, because I want to show you something funny.
Okay. I know, yes, Captain Zero said it right. Someone should send Dor an email to remind him about the email. Damn you, Captain Zero, you're right. Oh, man, I am so bad. I am so bad with email. I gotta run to the bathroom really quick. I'll be back.
All right, I'm just kind of skipping through this guy's 38-minute video. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a couple different ways to do some stuff about my ESP32s. There's a few different things I want to do. I actually have one that I set up as a motion sensor, a wireless battery-powered motion sensor that I can put anywhere that notifies me throughout the RV when it gets triggered. So if someone's at my door, it'll flash the lights and it'll do all the.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it works pretty good.
I kind of like the idea.
Yeah, it just the battery only lasts like 6 days, which in reality is not that bad. But
what kind of battery?
18650.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you just plug it in and it charges it up too. So it's not like you have to replace the battery, and it's got the built-in charger and everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this guy missed one thing that I mentioned, that you don't have to install it all on the same thumb drive.
I think we should have a like a little electronics on the Podnutz Discord.
Hey, wait! Well, what the hell does Chatter on the Wire think I'm gonna do? He says, Rich, don't pull a CNN anchor on Zoom. It's like, dude, what, really?
That's funny.
Yeah, Captain Zero, I actually do have an HC1, which is a 2.5-inch drive. I meant to buy an HC2, but I bought an HC1. Yeah, I actually... this is going to sound bougie. I hate the way this sounds, but I have a personal trainer comes to the house, and I was working out beforehand, hence the clothes. But yeah, I hate to... Dor, I just may send this to you personally because it's just funny.
Rich, don't pull a CNN anchor on Zoom. Don't want to know the story behind that. Just
yeah. So, Dor, what do you think about having a electronics channel on Discord?
Oh yeah,
I think that'd be kind of fun. Seems like there's a couple people interested in a couple different things. Yeah. And it'd be something to mess around with.
All right, Google. Dor, I sent you the screenshot on Google Hangouts.
Okay. Oh my.
You got to read the fine print on the bottom.
I am. Okay, it's. I'm guessing. Oh, I know who that is. Okay, never mind. It took me a second. Yeah.
before you guys go offline, I want to bring over one of my little projects. I'll show you real quick.
Okay.
Sure. Ooh, what you got? What you got? Ooh, I got to try out Horse Soldier. Is it bourbon on Saturday?
Any good?
Yeah, I said it tastes like Patron tequila a bit. You know, the smoky flavor. I don't think the guy liked when I said that.
I can't tell you the last time I had bourbon.
So
It's definitely been a while.
I don't know if I've ever had bourbon, to be honest. But then again, I'm the weird one. So this is, it's actually the design for my old, what you call it?
The Amazon Dash.
Yeah, it's basically the Amazon Dash, but this
Okay.
is a motion sensor instead of a button. And then, so on the inside, it's got the ESP32, and it's
Is the Dash just an ESP32?
It is not. It is actually a much better chip because it lasts 4 years. Or
4 years?
yeah, it's like some ridiculously crazy amount. And if you take one apart, it's literally just a AA battery. It's just one of those lithium AA batteries.
Oh, okay.
You know those,
yeah.
the Energizer Max lithiums?
Yeah. I've got a couple of Dashes. That, you know, when they're free or $1, I got a couple of them.
I have like 10 because I wanted to set them up kind of like this. And,
so the problem with the Dash is it's not real time; it's near real time.
Yeah, that was the problem. That's why I started doing stuff like this, because this with the ESP makes it real time.
Right. Well, and that's why the battery would last 4 years.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it wasn't real time.
Yeah, because it wasn't.
Well, it would go
with-
sleep mode, and then it would Wi-Fi connect, and then it would send the signal.
Yeah. And with these, I can. Let's see. I have constant on, and they last about 6 days, and it's a PIR motion sensor, but it's still connected to the Wi-Fi, so the code is definitely not refined. I can actually make it go into a deep sleep until the motion sensor gets triggered, and then turn on Wi-Fi.
Good.
And then, so then I can, because right now it lasts about 6 days.
Yeah, I
And
bet
then-
you could get 12 days out of that easy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's the. But yeah, when that triggers, I don't know if Dor you were here, but when that triggers, it rings on my smart assistant thingy that someone's at the door. It flashes my lights just in case my headphones are on. So yeah, it's definitely good lately because we've had some people walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a
Oh.
nice way to put it.
Yeah.
You know, I have 8 cameras around my house, but they're, you know, on the perimeter of my house. They don't really see out into places. So I'd like to have a camera, like, so I could see the mail, you know, maybe across my front driveway, so I could see the mailbox, that kind of thing. Also, so when like UPS, FedEx mysteriously place packages in random places at the opening of my property, that I could, you know, get an alert. And that's the whole coral part of it. So that if I have something monitoring it and doing person detection, say, hey, a person was on the property, I'm like, oh, delivery, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted security-wise is I wanted to sniff Bluetooth. So in case
Oh, I
something
remember you
bad
telling- you
happened on
saying
my
that,
property, yeah, in case something bad happened on the property, I could sniff and I could have a record of it. I'd say, yeah, well, here may be from my security camera an image, but you can positively identify him by his cell phone.
I like that, but would they accept that? Would that be acceptable for?
Well, it would be
I
only
know-
accepted as one part of a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Because
What-
Bluetooth can be spoofable, but you and me both know.
Yeah.
And every attorney knows the number of people out there spoofing Bluetooth is like crazy. Like most criminals don't understand, if I'm going to go commit a crime, I should leave my phone at home,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So
Actually, when I used to run Cali, or Backtrack back then, I actually made a, what was it, the Netgear D120, which turned the little Bluetooth sniffer, or turned the Bluetooth into like some ridiculously crazy sniffer. And it was a firmware that you flashed onto the little USB drive. I think I still have it somewhere, but I never figured out how to use it, but I had it.
Also, so our cars and our phones, you can get the Bluetooth MAC address from it as it drives by.
You're right.
So I'd like to log those things. That's
Well,
it wouldn't use up a whole lot of space. Just log in Bluetooth MAC addresses and time date stamp.
that sounds like a good addition to what I was thinking, which was doing a solar powered Raspberry Pi that runs a license plate detection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too.
That would
That's a
just
good one.
log, yeah, because our complex, there's only one driveway going in,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 8 businesses. Well, there's 8
Mhm.
buildings, 8 things, and I know everybody that comes in. I know, and what's kind of neat is everyone drives the same cars. So all I would do is just add everyone's car to the log, or to the whitelist.
Known vehicle list, yeah.
Yeah, and then, but if I could also do Bluetooth, that would be even better, because that'd be interesting.
well, and
But
every car made after 98, I think it is
96.
96, has tire pressure sensitive.
Oh,
TPMS, yeah.
Yeah, that you can also capture. And
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Even if the car doesn't tell you it's low on air pressure, they're still
It's still
installed on the
something.
tires.
So
Oh, that's
when they're
cool.
rotating, they broadcast, each one broadcasts, I believe, every 2 minutes when it's rotating.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in a perfect world, every 30
It's 10
seconds you'd
years.
get a broadcast.
In a perfect world, isn't it like 10 years that they last, though? Like the
Well,
batteries?
it actually doesn't broadcast at rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The standard was set in place at the average length of an exit ramp. If you haven't noticed,
No way.
yes, near every exit ramp on every major highway, there's a green box that's typically around 2.5 foot by a foot by about 18 inches off the ground, and all that box does is capture all of the
All the
signals,
TPMS.
yeah, coming out of there. And what they do is they basically collate that data, push it back to the National Transportation Highway Safety Board to try to monitor, does
Traffic flow.
does this ramp need to be 2 lanes? Blah, 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 blah. But
At
in
least that's what they
reality,
say.
it's one of those shady things. Well, and here's the example I'll use. I don't know if you guys know this.
Probably not.
Every country in the world right now has stepped up their water treatment monitoring by almost 500%.
Scary.
What
And
the
I
hell
love
does that
that
mean?
look I got from Rich. It's because not only can they tell from like your water treatment system, like what is the percentage of people who are drug addicts.
Oh.
Not only can it tell you what percentage of the people are pregnant, they can
Yeah.
also
Holy!
tell they can also tell from water treatment plants what's the actual percentage of people that are infected with COVID.
Oh, shit.
Because
yeah.
like right now in
Wow.
Brazil, that's the only way they actually know what the actual infection percentile is, because they don't have the number of tests applicable to them. They can't test everybody. So they're testing the local sewage runoff and the water treatment plants.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot that can be, and the word I'm going to use is grokked. There's a lot that can be grokked from water treatment facilities on communal, how many of them have cancer? You can tell that from stool and waste.
Yeah.
How many of them have diabetes?
And the amount, the diabetes is the amount based on that's crazy. I never even thought about that.
I'll
Just
say
more data.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was looking into. Rich, have you looked into Shinobi? I think we talked about that.
Shinobi, what is that?
Shinobi is it's a server-based. Oh, it's kind of like that Blue Iris, which is it's a security camera runner.
Okay.
And so it does all the person detection. So you were mentioning that you wanted to
But
do
isn't
person.
Blue Iris expensive?
Yes, and that's why Shinobi is much better because it's
Right.
completely open source. Does person detection. It actually.
How do you spell that?
Oh God, I don't know. SHINOBI.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a very weird spelling.
Yeah.
And I'll say, chatter in the chat mentioned Laura. I don't know how much you guys are aware of Laura.
Oh no, I
LORA?
mentioned Laura.
Well, yeah, and so chatter, it's one of those things that's been popping up on my stream for like almost a year now.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things I think it's only a matter of time before it comes to fruition of being everywhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a few of the ESP boards that have LoRa.
Right.
That are specifically LoRa, yeah.
And the Amazon Sidewalk, I want to say, it is specifically LoRa. Hey, you didn't hear about Sidewalk?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard. I forget now.
Sidewalk is literally Amazon wants there to have roads and sidewalks to literally, when they pave, put this in that, where they want to literally enable all the Alexa devices in my house to have long range, low bandwidth communications with the community.
Oh, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Rich.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. I understand why they want it. I understand how me as a citizen, it could benefit me.
But there's a possibility, a very real possibility, that it can be overused. And
well, it's one of those questions: who's at the driving wheel?
Yeah.
I don't want Jeff Bezos.
Don't be evil.
Wheel. No, it isn't about even don't being evil. It's just about listen. People who have issues with the cops, okay? People who have issues with teachers' unions.
People who
have issues with governments. They all have the same answer. People have issues with Jeff Bezos. People who have issues with Microsoft. People who have issues with Amazon. The same resolution to all of them. Transparency.
Mm-hmm.
If Jeff is transparent about how this technology will be used and how anybody else could use it as well, I'd be behind it 100%.
You know, I usually don't get in the middle of, people that get mad at, whoever, anything like that. But there was one person that said something to the effect of, if I were, and it was really stupid, and I had to say something. If I were Jeff Bezos, I would end child trafficking. And I said, all I posted was, and they just went on and on about how, this should be ended, and this should be, how dare you have so much money and not do anything about it. I said, I understand why he doesn't do anything about anything, because no matter what he does, everyone else is going to hate him for not doing it about their thing. And number two,
cancer,
and
number two, diabetes.
Number two, how do you stop child trafficking with money? That's my question.
Well,
not that much, not that little money.
There are some good groups out there that could use better funding.
I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that her point was, if she was them, she would end it.
And good for her. Become rich like Jeff Bezos. You have that opportunity.
Exactly.
Dude, everybody in America has that opportunity.
And outside of America also.
Not as much. Not as much. Yes. But yeah.
Only South Africans? Okay.
No, when they come to America, yes. Because in South Africa, he couldn't make any money. That's why he left and his family left. Philanthropy is only one channel, and you can't give money to everybody. I used to
Exactly,
literally want to
exactly.
choke Bill Gates to the point of death. He's a better human than I think he was 20 years ago. Does he directly correlate with my beliefs? Hell no. Not even remotely close. But he's at least in his own being trying to be what he considers to be a good person.
Let me just put it out there for all of these people that are bitching about somebody like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or whatever. And I think if you have more wealth than you could ever spend, and when you're looking at buying aircraft carriers or space stations, yeah, there's probably humanitarian efforts you could give to. There's a stink load of people anonymously, whether it's somebody like you or me giving $20 to a cause, or somebody like my daughter went to Dreyfus School for the Performing Arts. There's a guy named Dreyfus.
Yep.
And he funds that place. So there's who's the writer? They do a at what theater is it? In West Palm Beach, right next to Dreyfus. I can't think of the name. There's a beautiful theater there, and is the guy Pratt the author? He funds that every year. I mean, James Pratt, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he funds the Prism concert. That's fantastic, just unbelievable. So there's fantastic people out there, benefactors. Many of them you have no idea. So,
and that was another point that I made when I said that, was because, and I just put, what if
Patterson? I'm sorry, Patterson. I did say that wrong.
Yeah, Patterson. Yes.
I said, what if he is giving, just not under his name? And the dude has more money than, why would he want anyone to know what he cares about most?
Well, and like, look, the guy who just died, Chadwick, whatever his name is, Black Panther.
Yeah.
He for like 4 or 5 years,
nobody knew,
and he didn't advertise it.
No,
to me,
not
that
at
makes
all.
him a better human being.
I agree.
And the other example I'll use is Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
The guy I'm looking at when I go like this, because he's right there in my life. When he died, he gave 300. If I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure $300 million to causes that he believed in, but he gave them anonymously because it's not about him.
Exactly, and that's the type of person that I like, is a person that gives to give, not give to get recognition.
Right, like Carnegie, like James Carnegie, who now has like 800 places in the United States named after him because he made sure, I'm going to give you money, but you're going to make sure my name is on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
After, the whole steel fiasco. But let's digress.
Okay, Brett, I've been reading up on Shinobi here. So I have wired coax cameras. So it seems like Shinobi is software. And
Shinobi
it's designed,
is more software, yeah.
So your DVR has to be streaming over the Ethernet.
Over Ethernet, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So that wouldn't be for you, would it?
Well, no, there's a box I could get. There's an NVR box I could replace my box with that would give me MPEG streams out.
In all reality, I would definitely look into it if I were you, because I've seen a lot of information on that Shinobi and doing person detection, and it is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, because I hate to say it, motion detection is so useless. No matter how I've tuned it, no matter what I've blocked out in zones, because I'll get a cloud casting a shadow, and it sets off motion.
For us, it's at night is the only time I use it, because we're here during the day, and all I ever get are bugs.
Yeah, I was going to say I have IR illuminators.
Yeah, that go towards the infrared, yeah. But the Wise cameras actually do a surprisingly good job of person detection. But
which now you have to pay for?
No. Not if you sign up today.
Oh, really? Because
It's a name your price. You can do 0.
Are you serious? Because I saw like today's the last day.
Yeah, you can name your price and it's 0. I just looked up the email right before we came on.
Thank you for mentioning it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, because I was and it's only I think $1.99 a month, but I don't know if that's per camera. If it's per camera, then that kind of sucks because I have 11 cameras on one. Just going into for the shop, But yeah, and believe it or not, I actually got I got something really nice for my RV a couple days ago. I got have you ever heard of Explorer Van Company? They do like luxury vans and like limousine vans and stuff.
Okay.
So apparently, I have an old GMC RV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently in 1992 they bought a few of them and they redid the insides. And they redid the engines, they redid everything about them. And these things are beautiful. I mean, they have a bar built in. They have cups that say they have glasses that are etched with GMC2 on them. All of the couches, dinette that turns into a couch, everything is all electric, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's modern-ish compared to the 77 version, and there happens to be an abandoned one, or at least the guy couldn't get a hold of the owner before he had to leave that's a whole nother story. But basically, long story short, it's abandoned now, and I've been going through it while other people have broken into the yard and stolen every radio out of every single RV. And it really is upsetting, but people are living in them, and it's horrible. But it's on the side of a railroad track. So the other day I went over and I went into this one. Not only did it have Alpine and Bose speakers all the way around. I didn't take the speakers because they were just generic Bose speakers and they were very old. But I took the Alpine amp. I took someone had already taken the Alpine radio, which was a DVD navigation. Flip up, and it was incredible. But so I took the chairs, the seats, and I was like, oh, these will be nice. They look electric, this and that. Well, come to find out, they're a little more than that. They are full leather, electric lumbar, electric moving up, down. Front goes up, front goes down. Back goes up, back goes down. Full reclining. Heated and massaging, all in this little RV seat that I cannot find outside of their vans, and their vans go for $150,000 for a Sprinter van, for a Sprinter.
Oh, the Sprinter, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just their base model. And it's just like, oh my god! But these seats are awesome.
The Sprinter, I don't know if you know, is such a successful model.
Oh my god! It's so good.
Know it
Why?
was previously owned by. Oh god!
Well,
was
it's
it
Dodge.
Nissan? No. The actual Sprinter design was first owned by a small European company. It was then bought by, I want to say, Nissan, and then it was
it was bought by Nissan, then Mercedes.
Then Mercedes. Now it's owned by
Ford, I believe.
Ford? I do believe it's Ford.
Ford changed it to the Transit. That's their new Transit design.
Exactly, because the design is like perfect.
Oh, it's awesome.
And it's extensible. I know a guy in, I want to say, Belgium, who turned his Sprinter into like a 2-person mini RV.
Well, before I got this GMC, that was my complete plan, was to get a Sprinter and do that. Because you saw, about my old Astro van that I went to Texas in. Stayed up there for about a month. I turned the whole thing and I 3D printed while I drove to Texas. That was my favorite thing I did. Well, one of them. But yeah, no, those sprinters are just absolutely incredible machines.
Okay, my friend got a luxury. It's kind of like an airport bus, but he's got it set up, jacked up, 4-wheel drive, and he's making that into an RV so he can go on the beach and fish.
Nice.
That's a good plan.
There's
I can't find the pictures of it though.
I'll see if I can find the pictures of my buddy. He turned an ambulance into, and his Instagram tag was Solar Ambulance, because he had 430 watt solar panels on the top, and he had actually 2 solar panels on the side, one on each side, that would come up as like an awning. And I thought that was great, but he turned that whole ambulance into a camper, and he traveled all the way. I think he put 15,000 miles on it in like a month.
Yeah, best thing about an ambulance is you can treat it like dirt.
Yeah,
and it still works perfectly.
These are the custom wheels.
Wow.
And tires he's got on it, and that's the suspension.
Oh yeah.
On the front.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, this ambulance. Well, he actually had to get rid of it because the engine, it was a diesel, it was a beast, but one of the injectors was leaking, and it hydraulicked, and it just locked up the engine on the freeway, and
it's dead.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, so he actually got it was basically a forest transport that transported during wildfires, that would transport the guys up and towards the wildfires and stuff. He got one of those, and he's building that into a camper now too, and it's just...
Yeah, that is actually, I believe, a modified version of Department of Defense military carriers.
Really? Okay, that makes sense. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, because they're meant to carry, like, I want to say, like 12 personnel in the back.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, he's. I mean, it's got like a. I mean, it's way overkill for the engine is way overkill for the car, but that's good. You know, just like my engine's apparently a bit overkill, but I still need to put the new computer onto it. But the lean sale is going through, so we'll see how that works. Yeah, that should. I got the paperwork. I got a letter saying the paperwork was filed as of yesterday. So we'll see. It'll be. I won't have to. Once it's all in my name and everything, it'll be. No smog, no nothing. It'll be nice.
Very cool. In the chat, Red was asking about the Wise deal on the camera.
So they want you to pay $1 a month. That's it. I want to get my credit card so I can close the deal.
I could pay $1 a month, like, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I let me post, because it says something about, because I just got the email. It says you can even do a zero. You can. It says last call, person detection, name your price goes away after today. It says even zero. It says let me.
Wow.
Well, it said if you give us $1, that helps us get closer to break even. So I'll give him $1.
Yeah. So let's see.
Well, and I'll say if people out there can't afford $1 a month, let me know. I'll send you $1 a month.
Yeah. I'll copy and paste that. Oops, that didn't work.
I know that feeling.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna go.
All right, Rich. I love you, my man.
Hey,
have a good night.
Always good hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, it is.
Damn good to see you, man.
That's. I think that goes directly to my. Oh no, that's fine. I'll post a link, and it won't let me post it because it's too long. Let me shorten it.
Well, and I'm not sure you're an admin, so hold on. Let me click here. Let me add moderator. There you go. Now you should be able to do anything you want in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I can't. Wait. It still says I can only do 200 characters. So.
Oh yeah. There's a limit.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me shorten it. Which one shortens still? Is it
Tiny URL?
Bitly? Tiny? Okay.
Bitly still works, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Dude, Charles, I'm not gonna lie. I cannot look directly at the drawing tablet stuff that you linked because I can't spend the money that.
Wait, what drawing tablet? I don't even want to know.
God, you don't want to know.
Oh, I love drawing tablets.
Well, and I'll tell you like this, Charles is like a addict when it comes to creation with that kind of stuff.
I had one that had a XP pen that was a 13-inch 1080p screen that was also a pen. Oh, it's beautiful. But I gave it to a friend of mine because it had absolutely no touch input.
Oh,
you
had to have the pen.
You had to have the pen only, and I just didn't like that. But anyway, go ahead.
I just keep thinking, look, we all need our own types of therapy. We all need our own way of expressionism. And I keep thinking art is the perfect way to just unload. And a drawing tablet, I believe, with the correct pen, somebody who really isn't an artist could really do some really artistic shit, is the way I'll put it.
Do you want me to... I'm prepared for you to not be happy with what I'm about to say. The regular iPad...
I believe it. Go ahead.
The regular iPad, just the base model iPad, and the Apple Pencil, whatever the hell it's called. I don't like Apple, but I like it a lot. I hate to say, you know me. You know my course the last few months of trying not to convert. And that Apple Pencil has not, I don't want to say made me convert, but between that compared to any of the Samsung S Pen devices, it's actually better. And I hate to say it, but it's you would be able to get a drawing tablet cheaper. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that it's all in one, it's just, and you can get, I think it's the 7th generation. So since the new one came out, you can get them really cheap used, I'm sure. And the pencil, which pisses me off that it's separate, is $100. But I would go with the Logitech one, even though it doesn't have pressure sensitive. But yeah. So I have that, and I did actually for a long time have it covered in carbon fiber wrap, and I like that because it changed color and made it not white. But it's, my big thing is I want to be able to do CAD, and the fact that I want to be able to do like designing on it, and the only reason I went with the iPad for that is because there is not much on. You wanna do that? Or you want me to? I'm gonna allow it. Ha. The only reason I hope that's okay, Dor. And the you know what I mean?
Yep. I said that I was trying to change the live stream audio input from Mumble.
Hold on real quick.
I know.
Let's
You have
let
to,
me change over the. What happened?
You just have to turn on your Hangout or your Jitsi audio. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. What were you saying about it?
I just had to change it over because Charles wanted to hop on.
Oh, okay.
And I gave him the
Hello.
hop on. And, oh, hey, Charles.
Yeah, so I actually have the iPad Pro 10.5 inch. I paid $420 for an open box on eBay.
Did you really?
Yeah, the 10.5 inch. It's the A10 chip, so technically there's supposed to be a permanent jailbreak exploit, but right now it's Apple mitigated it a little bit, but they're working on a workaround.
Oh, that's good. Now,
Yeah,
okay, you're the
But I
perfect
have that
person
and I
to
have
ask
the Apple
then.
Pencil.
You're the perfect person to ask then. What's the point of a jailbreak today?
I use it for development stuff. I use it so
Okay.
that I can run proper Git on it because
Hmm.
I develop for PyTo and Pythonista, and it's a lot easier to have proper Git repositories. and use
Okay.
the command
Okay.
line.
Yeah, because I have.
Other
what is
than
it?
that, like I daily drive an iPhone 10 because Doors isn't gonna like this, but I've given up on Android for the most part.
Dude, if it works for you, it works for
Yeah.
you. I'm never
Yeah.
going to tell you that you're wrong. Listen,
Yeah.
I used to be the evangelist that would like proclaim at the top of the mountain while holding my 2 tablets of the 10 commandments. If you didn't follow me, you were evil.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm now under the firm belief if it works for you, I can never tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been using an iPhone 10 that I paid like $460 for.
That's a fair price. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna be when the iPhone 10 Pro or 12 Pro Max comes out, I'm pre-ordering that because I need a new one, and eventually this one's gonna hit end of life in like 2 years.
Well, and then the new ones work with the pen, don't they?
No iPhone works with a pen. So
Right.
Really?
the one thing I am gonna miss from the iPhone 10 is Force Touch or 3D Touch.
Yeah.
They killed it.
Yeah, because whenever I talk to someone that uses an iPhone that wasn't me, no one knows what the hell 3D Touch was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
You might as well have been speaking Greek to a Palestinian.
Yeah, they actually nuked 3D Touch on the Apple Watches, like in software.
Mhm.
Like
Do they
on the
really?
iPhones, they still have
that was
3D
almost-
Touch.
That
They
was
still-
almost a year ago when they killed
No.
it on the watch.
They nuked it on the watch this month, like a couple months ago with the
I thought it was
iOS
the watch.
WatchOS 7. Yeah, 3D Touch is still available for the iPhones that support it. Like it's just been replaced with what they call
Well-
haptic touch, which is basically just a long press.
Yeah,
One thing I'll miss is with 3D Touch, you are able to actually press and hold on the keyboard and move your cursor.
and that's what I love about Android. All I gotta do is on the space bar, hold and touch, and I can move the cursor.
iOS can do that if you have a third-party keyboard, potentially.
I don't know why they would kill that because it is a good feature. It's a really good feature.
They killed it because the technology probably cost them. It's just not worth it because no one uses it.
Well, I hope they would replace it. Is the way I'll put it.
The way they replaced it was with a long press gesture. That's literally what they did.
Yeah.
Though I think 3D Touch is actually implemented with the Apple Pencil.
The only
Because-
reason I still have my Note 8 is because the 3D Touch on the home button.
Yep.
That's the only
You're-
reason.
You're like the third or fourth person I've heard say that, Brett.
Yeah, and that's I don't want to get rid of that, and that's and the Note 8 is technically a great phone on paper, but once the fingerprint reader starts getting screwed up, which mine started about 2 months ago, it's horrible. Just
Yeah.
unlocking it takes. Oh, it's horrible.
Right.
I'll
It
actually,
gets sketchy.
I'll
Yeah.
actually be getting a Samsung S20 Fan Edition with my plan with T-Mobile.
Yeah, what's the fan edition?
Basically, it's a stripped down S20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
getting that. I have a down payment of like $500 something on it, but they're gonna apply that as a payment credit on my account.
That's
Oh, that'd be
more
nice.
than I pay for a laptop.
Door,
Yeah, it goes
technically,
back.
in the long run, I will be getting this phone for free. So
In the long run, though.
yeah,
Yeah, but you're on T-Mobile, so that kind of.
I'm on T-Mobile Business. I'm not on regular T-Mobile.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
you
I
got me on
actually
that one.
have a sales rep guy that I know that can help me with getting all the deals.
And you said
Okay.
that, and dude, I'm telling you, anything in life, whether it be a Lenovo sales rep, T-Mobile sales rep, Verizon stuff, if you have
doesn't-
a sales rep you can talk to, my goodness, you are so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about what you were talking about with those IoT.
Sim. Yeah, I can get
SIM
the
cards.
details. I can get the details from my sales rep and pass them along. I think
Yeah,
it's like
that'd be-
$10
yeah.
a month for one of them with unlimited
Heh.
data.
I can pay that, yeah.
Though
Well,
I
you
think
know
you
what I
have to
use?
have a plan to begin with other other lines on it potentially.
Well, I think I actually have one. That's funny. Well, I have my Verizon, which is still 4G unlimited, untethered.
Ugh,
So I won't get
you
rid of that.
abuse that.
Oh
You abuse
God,
it.
Dor, you know how much I abuse it.
Yeah.
I think my biggest month was 460 gigs.
Damn.
Like a prostitute in New York City.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm going to T-Mobile is because they're the best option for me right now. And also I need to be with one of the major 3 carriers because they're the only ones that support eSIM on the iPhone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't do eSIM on like Ting or any of the other carriers or the prepaid stuff.
Oh, okay. What about? Well, no, you can't do that. No.
Because what I'm planning to do is when I get my new iPhone 12, I'm gonna activate the phone number on there on the SIM card and activate a number on the eSIM, so I have dual
Oh,
numbers.
okay. So you'll have the two.
Yeah. Also, that way, if my data gets throttled on one plan, I can switch
Yep.
over to the other.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
that's. But I have. I actually have a Freedom Pup, which is. Have you? Yeah. That's. Believe it or not, that's still around.
Yeah.
And
I
it's.
had a free pop router.
Oh, you do.
I
Yeah.
did.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's kind of neat is that the Freedom Pop is free for 200 megabytes a month, and I think 200 texts.
Yep.
And that works great for me for my IoT stuff, especially if I run a relatively long text, one per day. I'm not ever going to use anything.
Yeah.
Right. Or
But,
like even if it's email, it will never use that much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been using that for a long time, but I don't know if I told you, Dor, I counted the tablets that I have, and just the ones that I don't use, I counted 15.
Damn.
I was gonna say 12 or 13, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
cheap Walmart branded on tablet somewhere.
I have one of those too. It actually isn't that bad.
If you
I
could,
know, but
if I could
gotta-
flag something custom to it, it would be better.
Yeah.
I know, but there was one thing during the show that I didn't mention that I'm really sad now that I didn't mention. The long and the short of it is, I'll say it like this: when Johnny Carson died, a part of me died.
Yeah.
When Robin Williams died, a part of me died.
Yes.
Yesterday, James Randi died. And if nobody knows who James Randi is, I encourage you to just go onto YouTube, James Randi, Randi. I implore everybody to just look at what he did. He was maybe the smartest street knowledge kind of guy in my lifetime. Back in the 70s, people called him a debunker. He hated the term debunker.
So basically, he was the original Mythbuster.
If it wasn't for him, nothing that we know around myth busting would even exist.
Wow.
He was, I'll just say this, he was openly gay early.
Wow.
When it wasn't like
When it wasn't,
appropriate to be such. But he was the ultimate skeptic. He was the guy who would say, I'm not saying I'm right, but I implore you to prove I'm wrong. And he literally had $1 million challenge to where if you could prove dowsing rods existed, if you could prove ghosts existed, if you could prove, any of these, like, I can have ESP, I can read your palm, I can read astrology charts. If you can prove any of these things exist, I'll give you $1 million.
That's funny. That's awesome.
And what he did was he said, I'm not going to judge you. We are going to agree before going in on what the rules are, and a third party is going to be the people who are going to judge you.
See, that's the best.
Well, and that's why he is smarter than I ever imagined that I could be, because he knew if he set rules in place ahead of time that and he said, if you call me a debunker, I hate you. I'm not a debunker. I want to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
I just want to hold people to a higher standard. And he quoted Carl Sagan a lot. Extraordinary facts require extraordinary evidence.
Yeah.
And that's, to be honest, how I live my life now in 2020. You can claim anything you want. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but you need to provide evidence behind it.
Yeah.
And him being dead, oh my God, it hurts. It literally hurts. But he was 92 years old. My God, he lived a great life.
That's impressive, yeah.
Wow.
He lived a great life. And if it wasn't for him, Penn and Teller would never have existed. And if you've never seen the series Penn and Teller BS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it was such a good series. It's on my Plex server. If you don't have it, send me your email address. Oh my God. Penn and Teller BS was one of the most fantastic things I've ever watched in televisions. The only thing that comes close is Carl Sagan Cosmos and James Burke Connections. Just such good stuff. Oh my God.
So what is your view on Morgan Freeman's Through the Wormhole?
It is a great series as long as it's taken into its own perspective.
Good. Okay, because I really enjoyed the show.
Oh yeah.
It was done very well, but
right.
Yeah, but it was nothing to compare to like Cosmos or
Well, his delivery was fantastic.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear Morgan Freeman being passionate about something, I, as an individual, shut my mouth and listen.
Yeah, no, I'll agree.
Into the Wormhole was almost, there's like 2 or 3 series on PBS that were really close. One of them was, I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say it was Neil Gaiman, but I think I'm wrong. Where he just spent like 10 episodes talking about string theory and how it worked. And while I think string theory is complete BS and garbage, his delivery at least made me shut my mouth and listen.
Yeah.
And that's the way I'll put that episode of through the whole series of Through the Wormhole. Yeah. The whole time everybody was talking during that series, I just shut my mouth and listened, because obviously everybody who contributed to that series was smarter than me.
That reminds me of, and I talk about it every once in a while. Wow, I'm glad that didn't turn on while we were recording. I don't know if you can hear it, but the air compressor just turned on. There's a show I watch, The Blacklist.
Yes. With what's his name?
James Spader.
James Spader. Let me tell you something.
Listening to his monologues.
He is wacko. You know that, right?
In real life?
Oh yeah, in real life he's completely gone. He's like on Mars. Oh, he's gone. But as an actor, as a theatrical person, he is so unbelievably captivating.
So
he makes that show great.
Yeah, I used to watch him on Boston Legal with him and William Shatner.
Yep.
and I loved that show. But when Blacklist came out, like, I will just sit and listen to his stories. Like, they're
Right.
just, he's so captivating, and
Yeah.
you're the first person that actually watches it that I've talked to, and it's just like, it's so good. Just his delivery of these stories are just awesome. He's like the white Morgan Freeman to me.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy where if he were to run for office, office, he would win by a landslide.
Oh yeah,
because he's just so charismatic.
Yeah.
And the things I've heard about him in his personal life, he is like, whoa, he
like
blasts
way out there, or
completely
really?
ridiculously. He's like Weekend at Bernie's out there, to where
Wow.
he will blast through his complex audio from a track from like the 1950s that he swears manipulates human beings
Oh shit.
in a certain way. And his neighbors like constantly complain to like authorities, and he openly says, F you, if you don't like this, you're Nazis.
Oh jeez.
What I'm doing is like for the betterment of all human beings.
Oh jeez.
But
Wow.
his acting, let me tell you something, he has came so far.
From 16 Candles?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, he wasn't bad in 16 Candles either to me.
No.
But
he was
he has
great in
come-
16 Candles, but he was immature.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But like, yeah, I mean, him and Stargate. I did like him in Stargate too.
Oh my god.
But it's funny, my dad introduced me to Stargate, but he will not watch Stargate SG-1.
Well,
and I've never watched it to this day either. Probably for the same reason.
I understand that, but I'll say it like this.
Yeah.
Stargate the movie was unbelievably inspirational.
Oh, so
and
good.
it was only because of him. I have no problem saying that.
Yeah.
The series was unbelievably inspirational because of the writing.
Okay.
Teal'c, like the individual actors were fine, but the underlying story embraced.
Great.
Well, they embraced the movie story.
Okay.
Because the individual, I mean, MacGyver, he's freaking MacGyver. Okay.
Yeah.
But the other actors on the show actually made it very entertaining. But I'll say it like this: Stargate. I am very particular about my movies. 10 years before Stargate, 10 years after Stargate, I don't know if I can tell you a better movie, because it did everything right. It was unbelievably well paced. The acting in it was just enough. The
animatronic CG was just believable enough, and just done. It was done very well.
Yeah.
The costuming was done incredibly good. It was all believable.
Yes, and that's the thing. History has told us, like, if you take a look at the movie Pumpkinhead, is the example I use. You need a certain amount of real life animatronics, a certain amount of real life animation before you introduce CD. And the example I use is nearly everything Marvel Universe in the last couple of years. The CG is disgusting.
Oh, I agree.
It will not last. In 3 to 5 years, we'll think it's horrible and just bad.
Yeah.
Where movies like Stargate did just enough real animation and then layered on top of it CG to make it timeless.
Well, did you ever see, I'm sure you have, Neverending Story?
Oh.
Did you ever see the documentary behind Neverending Story?
I did, and I cried.
I mean, the work they put in to the, what's the dude, the flying dude?
Thank you. I don't know his name. I can't remember, but the flying dog thing.
Oh my God. I mean,
the work onto it was insane.
It was more, there was more work on that than I've ever seen on any documentary of any movie. Like, it was just,
the effort onto that was like every Star Trek movie
Yes.
and every Star Wars movie in one movie.
Yes. Yes.
And every Avatar movie and like but and here's the thing, before I even saw that, whenever I watched that movie, it just pulled me in. And it made me feel like I'm watching something important. And then when I watched that documentary, it opened my eyes to the individual effort that went into it. And it made me almost nearly sick.
And
because
actually,
it was years.
Yeah, the reason I saw the movie and the reason I saw the documentary was because my ex-wife, it's her favorite movie. And I'm glad, because we actually went and saw the documentary before the movie inside of a movie theater. They were playing a special where they played the documentary before the movie, and then they played the movie in the movie theater. It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thoroughly blown away by the amount of everything that went into it.
Yeah. Well, it was the time it was released. The other movie I'll put into the same category is The Goonies.
Yeah.
Where it was released just before CGI became affordable, to where you had to do real world animations.
To me, it was like Jurassic Park 1, where I'm fine with Jurassic World because they built off of Jurassic Park 1. If Jurassic Park would have come out now with the CG, it would have been hell. But because everyone knows that there was the original animatronic ridiculousness, they can understand, and I think that's why Jurassic World did good in the box office. It was a pretty good movie. I liked it, but it was just, that there are certain movies that just, And if you want to talk about CG not being over the top but understandable, look at the opening scene of Tron Legacy. I won't make you watch the whole thing.
Ooh,
I won't make you watch.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. I love Tron. Disney Channel.
Yeah, I keep forgetting I've got to download that.
I know. I can't remember what it's called. But I watched the Disney Channel exclusive Tron series, and then Tron Legacy, and that opening scene was
that is my favorite scene, I think, of any movie of all time, because I'm a huge circuit trace person. I love circuit traces, and just seeing that just blew me away. And that's that
opening scene made me literally shut my mouth.
Oh yeah,
and just watch. Digest.
Yeah, they did.
And my wife turned to me when we were watching that in the theater and said, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
And I literally just said, "Shut up."
I don't blame you at all. I just
Well, it was like one of those things that was hard to consume because I don't know if I was ready for it.
Yeah.
And then as I was watching it, I thought, "Oh my God,
you started understanding what it actually was and how it made sense."
It was expanding my universe in a way that I don't think I was ready for.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. And what's her name? The girl was supposed to get her own movie.
I know. And I'm sad that she didn't.
Awesome.
God, she was talented. She was talented.
Yeah, I mean,
not to mention,
she should have been. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, just don't. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is coming from the guy that always liked Sandra Dee in Grease.
Oh,
only in the last scene though.
Yeah. Oh,
only in the last scene.
Yes.
And
yes.
we'll never get over Trinity in the first scene. So, yeah. But
Trinity Trinity looks horrible now. Oh
I
my
don't.
god!
I won't look. I won't.
She's like
I
a
won't see her.
grandmother.
I won't look her up.
I know.
I don't want to. I'm
She's
afraid
like
she'll
your
be in the fourth
grandmother
one.
now. Oh god! But in that first movie, she looked good.
Oh, yeah, and
I don't
yeah.
think
So
any
it's
of
just
you
you know.
noticed this, but I'm streaming my.
I know you are, and I
I
was
know.
gonna call
I'm
you a
watching
jerk.
it very closely.
I
You're
am
doing
too.
a great job.
You are
Thanks.
doing awesome.
Yeah, I sold my soul to Adobe, so might as well use it.
Yeah.
Well, it could be worse. I don't know how.
I
I have Clip Studio Paint as well.
And look, the simple fact that we had a conversation that made Jonas comment on it makes me emphatically happy.
Wait, what?
In the YouTube chat, Jonas commented, and I'm gonna tell you right now, there are few human beings on this earth that I respect, like, and just really
yeah. No, I agree with
enjoy my communications with besides Jonas. He is unbelievably
Yeah. No. I agree
sweet
with that.
fella is the way I'll put it.
Yeah, there's one thing I love. I love my pastel colors.
Hey, I'm literally becoming more appreciative of pastel colors as time goes on.
What's funny is the new iPads are actually in pastels.
Really?
Literally. The new iPad Airs, they're pastels.
I didn't know that.
They are, aren't they? I saw. You're right. I saw an image of them. That's the brand new ones that just came out, right?
Right.
Huh. I didn't even
I
think
don't
about
want to
that.
know how much they cost, by the way.
I don't either.
Nah.
Can I sell children for it?
Yeah, it's not expensive as a Pro, so it's like 600, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
Dora, that's way too much for you.
Yeah.
Goodness. I mean, I barely
Well, here's
paid
the
more than that for a car.
Here's the thing: you're getting at least 5 years of updates with that device.
Okay.
how
Most
I-
Chromebooks you buy now have 9, but okay, I digress.
I'm talking about a device that has a proper stylus support and proper app support that isn't just a web browser.
Stylus
Well,
support is good,
Is the
yes.
Samsung? Samsung.
Yeah,
Chromebooks
but with the
have,
Samsung, you don't get 5 years of support.
But you get an eraser.
You're right. You get almost 9 years now of support.
You get
With
an eraser,
Samsung
though.
Android
The
devices?
Samsung Pro Chromebooks, yes, you
Oh,
get
you're
almost
talking
9 years.
Chromebooks, not Android devices.
Can you not run Android apps in a Chromebook?
You
I wasn't
can.
gonna say it. And you get an eraser. That's all
I
I'm
could
gonna
be
say.
wrong.
An
I could be
eraser and a
wrong.
side button.
My wife tells me I'm wrong every day. And yeah, that's the one thing right now about the Google verse that I can't get behind. I can't install anything in my ecosystem Google based and have any confidence in
Time.
3 years it's going
Yeah.
to be still accepted. They
Well,
kill stuff so blindly. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, did you hear the news? Quibi is dead.
I heard about
Quibi
that. What is
should be
Quibi?
dead.
I got a
is
Google
Quibi?
Opinion Rewards survey before that thing went mainstream, asking if I understood what it was based on an advertisement.
Good man. How much money did you make off of it?
I think 50 cents. I'm not completely sure.
I'll happily give you another 50 cents because it was so stupid from day one.
What was
I
it?
told them I didn't know what the hell they meant with the ad.
Well,
They're-
I can tell you what their goal was. Their goal was they thought they could give you an experience that would be different, whether it's portrait or landscape, and which would almost require you to rewatch whatever you were watching from day one.
That's weird.
And they literally filed, I don't know what it is, chapter 5,
Chapter
chapter
11.
13, whatever, where they're done. And nobody has swooped in and said that they're going to help them out to survive. No. Quibi is dead. Deader than dead. They're literally the most obfuscated thing that's ever existed. They were only alive for 9 months and they're never going to be alive again.
What was it? The one that when The one that Netscape bought back in the 90s. There was a something Vision C. Wasn't there something like that that just didn't last once it got bought?
I don't know. The only thing that came to mind was Sea Monkey, but I'm really confused.
No, it was like maybe it started with a V, Vision something Q. I don't know. Maybe it was QB.
It sounds, I'll just say this, believable, because both companies have made really bad decisions.
Yeah.
But
Did you ever watch the documentary? The Boom or something?
Doesn't ring a bell.
It's basically it was kind of an interview documentary dramatization of it was interviews with a relatively real account of what happened with Netscape and right when everything the boom, the .com boom. It was really good, and Mark, I think his name is Mark Andreessen, right?
Yep.
He wouldn't talk to them. I think he tried to sue them because Microsoft told, and then and basically everyone told the same story, and yet he said it was different.
Huh.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm actually drawing this on my Canvas Pro 16 is what I'm using for a drawing tablet. It doesn't have touch, but it's a display drawing tablet. The response time on it is garbage, though.
Really?
Yeah, like there's
XP
visible
Pen
ghosting on it.
Oh.
But that's not the point of the display anyways.
What is it's just, the drawing.
Yeah. Of which the pen is pretty nice.
Really? That's good.
Yeah. And also it only cost me like $330 on Prime Day, so
Oh, nice.
yeah. Also I can always use it as a drawing tablet for my main monitor, which is a 4K ultra sharp 27-inch.
Yeah. I ended up going with the actually I did. By the way, I'm Brett.
I'm CJ.
I am the random person that lives in an RV. I have let's see. I have a T420 server. There's a reason I'm telling you this is I have a T420 server that runs all my stuff, but I have the dual 27-inch Samsung curved, but they're only 1080. But I built this desk to where the top of it slides back and there's a screen underneath it. And I used to have my drawing tablet underneath. So I would flip up the drawing tablet, work on my CAD stuff, and then flip it back down, and then I have my desk back. But then I broke it. So now it's just a regular TV.
Yeah, I work for Dell, so that's why I have all the Dell stuff for the most part.
Oh, nice. Yeah. This is an old server, but I still put the 10-core 20 thread in it, and I think I have 230 gigs of RAM now.
Damn. I'm here with a PowerEdge T30 with 8 gigs of RAM in 4 cores.
Nice.
Well, yeah.
Though I bought that directly from Dell, not as a used unit. So
I got this T420 for free. Yeah.
Also, I have warranty on it as well.
Yeah, I don't.
Like next day parts.
Right. Well, and that's the
nice.
thing. Dell's warranties are second to none.
Are
I mean,
really?
people have hard. Oh,
yeah.
People have a hard time competing with the fact that you can literally get replacement parts in less than, in some instances, 12 hours.
4 hours. We have some contracts that are 4 hours.
Wow, that's awesome.
And here's the thing. I still remember my Dell XPS 12. Oh my God, that was the best laptop I ever had.
Was that the one that flipped like this?
No.
Oh,
no.
Mine
This was 2000. Wait a minute. My son is now. This was around 2006 or 2004. And my mom said, "Look, I'm gonna die soon. What can I buy you to make you happy?" And she bought me a Dell XPS 12, this laptop. It was the fastest damn thing I ever had. I had 12 multi-boot Linux distros on it, and it was so snappy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, and that proved to me that when you went with the higher echelon of Dell products, aka not consumer grade, what
Yeah.
you got was so damn good.
Yeah, the way it works out, from what I understand, is Inspiron is consumer.
Yes.
XPS is either consumer or enterprise. It depends
Yes.
on who made it.
Exactly.
And then Latitude is enterprise.
The Latitude, dude, that is so expensive, but
Yeah,
I
damn.
have a Latitude.
I have
I have a
couple
Latitude that I use
Latitudes
for
and they're-
work. That's a
Yeah,
2
they're
in 1.
pretty impressive.
It runs hot though. You do not
Mine
want
does
that
too,
Yes,
thing.
it
actually.
does.
You do not want that thing on your lap.
Nope,
It'll
you
just
don't.
burn.
No.
You'll just
Well,
burn your bulb
Everybody
off.
I know, well, a couple guys I know that have a Latitude who've been working at home, they put
don't
it
have kids.
on a table. Well, no, they put it on a table, then they turn it upside down,
Yep,
and they
that's
hook
what I
the other ports up to it, and they use separate keyboards, mics, and monitors.
See, that's
and,
what I like about the
That's
Latitudes.
what I
They
do.
have that.
I actually
Yeah.
have it. I have it
the
in tent
dock.
mode, and
Right.
then I just remote desktop into it.
right, because you have to, because the damn thing runs so hot.
Yeah, when I'm due for an upgrade, I'm switching over to a precision mobile workstation.
Yeah,
I've got
good.
I'm trying to find that XPS that I had for about a week, and then I had to sell, and that was my biggest regret of selling a computer.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, right now I'm running an Alienware Aurora R8 that I got for like $1,200, of which was pretty much the same price as parts.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, I run macOS on it. That's what you're looking at right now.
I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding.
As long as it works.
Yeah,
was gonna say,
I
have
like the
Mac in a
fact that
box.
you don't see the fact that I'm zoomed in on my display, but I can zoom in on my display and not have other people see it. And of
That's
which
cool.
I can't think you can do that in Windows.
No,
You
no.
can't.
In Windows,
magnify
you
it.
can't. In
Yeah.
Linux from 1999, you could, as long as you use Compass.
Yeah, zoom in and not have like screen sharing show it.
Right. The Windows borders.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I use a Magic Trackpad. I haven't used a mouse
is it
in a
the first one or
while.
the second one?
Second one, the one with Force Touch.
I have the first one.
Right.
The first
Yeah.
one is still awesome.
Yeah,
They're both good.
yeah,
What's
I
it,
use it.
12?
It's the best trackpad that you can get because
I
there's
hate to say it, but you're right.
there's literally
know.
no competition.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, companies have tried.
Yeah.
They've tried. They
Dell
just can't.
Dell actually tried to get into the drawing tablet market.
I
but
know.
From what I can
3
tell,
years
that
ago?
failed. Yeah, like 3 years ago with their
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, like their art display. But
I'm trying to remember.
it wasn't
I
a
need-
success with artists, from what I've read online.
No, it wasn't. Then they like 18 months later decided they're not going to continue it.
Yeah, it's a nice novelty though. We had one in at our office.
Are you guys still there? Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then I can do that.
Yeah, I've
Um,
also my drawing tablet came with a artist glove that just covers your outer two fingers, so that
Ooh,
I don't
nice.
smudge my display.
I'm not going to lie. I don't completely understand when you say you got an artist glove.
So basically, it's a glove, except it doesn't cover all your fingers.
So it's like a Nintendo Power.
Yes. Kind of. I used to have one of those. I gave it to a shop, and I'm
Yeah.
sad I did.
Yeah, it's basically like a glove, except it only covers your pinky and your, I forget what you call that, but it covers your
Next
two,
to the ring finger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Index finger?
No, your
It is the ring
your,
finger.
your thumb, index, and
No.
middle finger are not covered by the glove.
Right. It's the
Oh,
other
okay.
ones.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
the
your
AKA
ring finger.
useless finger and your pinky.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
that way,
you're right.
when you're drawing,
is
you
ring
don't
finger.
touch the display directly.
Right.
And you don't
You're
smudge
right.
it.
Ring finger. So, I mean, I don't want to say how do you use it, but
Just
I'm
Google,
sure-
just Google artist glove, and you'll see pictures of them.
so I'm sure only specific software can take advantage of
No,
this.
because this display doesn't have touch input.
Yeah, it's like the one I had.
Which
It's-
does not make sense to me. It bothers me, but at the same time, I completely understand it. But I still want the option to turn on and off touch.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all
yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
on my Surface tablet, because my Surface tablet is great, except I can't turn off. At least I haven't tried really.
Usually with it, it's pen based,
Right,
proximity based with the pen.
right.
Well,
Proximity based.
this one is the one with the but I want to be able to turn off the touch completely, because because the way I hold my pen, if I don't hold it right, my hand touches first, and just
Yeah.
the main reason for an artist glove.
Yeah. Actually, my work laptop is a 2-in-1 that supports Wacom tablet pens.
Really?
Right.
The
Yeah.
Dell one?
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
and Wacom has become a standard, is what I'll say, in a very good way.
Yeah. They're expensive
Yeah.
though.
Well, you know.
Like, look at this antique line of tablets.
Yeah. I
Also,
know.
Oh, I
also,
had a
from what I've read,
Cintiq,
you can get drivers for the
23.
Hui on Linux.
You can. You can.
I think that's the right password. Nope. Can someone let me join?
Good try.
No.
Mini PC.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I wouldn't lie to you. And look, I know here's one of my like beliefs, not a fact, not a truth, a belief. Artistic things are what makes humans humans. The ability to
Yeah.
take abstract thought and put them into other mediums of input.
And
I can't.
storytelling, yeah.
Right.
Which is basically the same thing, yeah.
Storytelling is what made humans humans. I can't wait till I retire from my 9 to 5 job in about 7 years. And I want to take at least a couple hours of the day and just do creationism, whether it be drawing, whether it be writing, whether it be whatever, and just creating what I think of from nothing into the ethereal.
That's what I do when I draw this stuff.
I want to do that too. I have a really hard time with that, mainly because for me it's when I sit down I don't know what to do. But if I have like an idea randomly, I'll go on it forever.
Well, to quote Jack Black and Tenacious D, Inspirado, I know. Inspirado, I know. Inspirado or inspiration is the hardest thing to bring about. Because what is that except the inferior thing that you cannot describe? What drives you to do what you're doing? And you can't make it up. You can't fabricate it. You can't say, okay, today I'm going to be inspired. You have to just be in the moment. So it's the kind of thing you just like roll with the punches. And then when something good comes along, you have to be able to be ready to take advantage of it.
That's my problem is finding, and that's, I mean, Dor, I've been trying to figure out how to do that for a long time, whether it be recorders, whether it be the Rocketbook, whether it be, all kinds of stuff that I try. And I need to settle on one thing and be able to go back to it.
Well, no, that's the thing. You don't need to settle on one thing. You need to allow yourself to be on unlimited numbers of things. And then when the one thing that clicks, you need to be able to like drill down on and just abuse like a prostitute in New York City.
Well, no, I mean like as far as like going back to something, that's my biggest issue is I have so many different things that I can record on.
Right.
They get lost in the ether.
The shuffle, yeah.
Yeah. But I just posted a
link to my favorite tablet computer thing of all time. It was the XPS 12. I posted it on the Jitsi.
Yeah.
I don't. Isn't that nice?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had that for about a week. That was my favorite tablet of all time. I think that is the smartest way to do what they did. But
What
I'm
year
sure it
was
was
that?
I don't even know. Let me. That was 2013.
Damn, that was that long ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. And even back then, it was incredibly fast for today's standards.
Right.
You know, and it was just like. In fact, I looked it up maybe about a year ago when we were talking about what is your Lenovo, the dual screen one? The one that you like? Ooh, I like that.
There's the
I'm thinking of
yoga.
Blender. The yoga, yeah, the yoga where the screen is also a pen and it's a double
Right.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were talking about that, I looked this up again, and I think it was still like $500.
Wow.
And that was like, yeah, and I think I paid $500 for it when I got it the first time. You know, and that was secondhand, but you know. Yeah, see, I have a hard time with Blender.
Wow.
The one thing is when I'm on Mac OS, Blender does not perform that well because I can't use my graphics card.
Oh yeah.
Looking at eBay right now, Dell XPS i7, 8 gigs of RAM, which 8 gigs of RAM is never enough for me.
Well, it only had
$300.
one. Oh, really?
Yeah.
It only had one DIMM slot though. That was the problem.
Oh.
It had one DIMM slot. That's why
that
there's
makes
only
sense.
8 gigs on it.
Yeah.
Really, $300. I'll have to.
Damn, that's a sexy device.
Tell me it's not. I mean, like it, and it's real carbon fiber on the top and bottom, and it's just all aluminum on the sides, and it's just the flipping mechanism was just incredible to me. And they only did that one.
So
But,
I also do photography.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, I used to go to conventions.
Mm.
So Datacolor is actually having a 20-year anniversary sale or 50-year anniversary sale, and I got this for 50% off. Normally, this is a $400 kit.
Wow.
I don't mean to sound stupid, but is it a correct color?
It's a color. It's a calibrator for the monitor.
Okay.
The
Okay. That's
Elite.
okay. Wow.
And the checker and the cube are for cameras.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So what you do is you take a photo at your location of the objects, and then when you go back into Photoshop, you reference those for your color correction.
Nice.
Yeah, anniversary special, $200 plus tax.
Nice.
The calibrator alone costs that much.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I should probably be getting that sometime next week.
Oh, nice.
Also, if I remember correctly, these do work on Linux.
Dor, did I ever show you exactly what I got? And your name's JC, right?
CJ.
CJ. Close. No, I'm kidding. There is I just posted a thing to an HP printer that I got. This thing is a beast. It is a 60-inch wide inkjet multiple media type roll printer thing. I got it working. Each it has 8 color cartridges. It has 8 ink cartridges, each costing $330 from HP.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I got it actually had 5 of them already in it. So I got 3 of them reconditioned, and it works beautifully. And it's printing on vinyl, so I can stick it on things.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's been in my way for the last few weeks. Is I have nowhere to put it, but it works.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be having a job for a manufacturing company making renders for their stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah, the thing is, I haven't heard back from them in like a week or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Did you
Well,
do that?
I
Did you do
rendered
the?
it. I didn't
Oh,
make the
okay.
model, but I
Wow.
did the materials.
Wow, that's nice. I like the copper.
good job.
Yep.
Very nice. I actually got my my 1080 running on the server too. So that'll be once I get the
CUDA set up.
well, yes and no. I'm thinking about doing transcoding for Plex, but I don't really see much of a need for it because
I do transcoding using my Intel CPU using QuickSync.
okay. I don't know if mine will do QuickSync.
If
'Cause
your
mine's pretty
Intel has
old.
integrated graphics, it most likely will do QuickSync.
I don't think it
Right.
even has integrated graphics, to be honest. Because it's a server, so
My
I don't think
Xeon has integrated graphics.
oh, okay. Then maybe I'll have to look it up. But
Yeah, right
yeah,
now
because
I have no hardware acceleration when it comes to rendering.
Right.
oh, okay.
The good
Because
thing about
macOS
most
does not
Intel
support
boards.
CUDA, and it doesn't support what's it called? Doesn't support CUDA and OpenCL.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Command comma.
Yeah.
Most Intel boards support the like default Intel support.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I
I'll
actually
to look
have
that
to.
up.
Actually, every time I want to boot into Windows and use my NVIDIA card, I actually have to swap out my graphics card.
What do you mean swap?
Right.
Like literally swap out?
Yeah, fully swap it
Yeah.
out. because-
Literally swap
because-
out.
Because I'm using an RX 580 right now.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
funny. That's the other one I have.
Yeah,
Because
macOS
I know
Catalyst-
the RX 580 is good for the Mac, right?
Yeah,
Wait, what'd you say?
yes, it is good for the
Oh,
Mac.
okay. Yeah, because that's actually tomorrow. I should be getting my X16 extender. Because the T420 has two X16 slots, and I'm able to use my 1080 and my RX 580 and run two VMs through something like I don't even know. I'm just going completely overboard with this thing. Oh, by the way, all of it is built into an RV.
Neat.
That is the greatest part.
Mm-hmm.
This game, you literally is the best to be played on a drawing tablet.
What is it?
Exit the Gungeon.
Oh my god, that game has gotten so popular.
Apple Arcade exclusive on macOS.
Well,
actually,
as
it's
long-
not. It's available on 3 other platforms, but Apple likes to say it's an exclusive. Yes.
For macOS, it's exclusive only to Apple Arcade if you're running Mac. Can't
Oh,
get
I
the
see.
Steam version
You can't
running
you can't get it running on a Mac. You can only get it running on a Mac Arcade.
Yeah, if you're not using Apple Arcade.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
gotten
that isn't
really, really popular in the last couple of months.
as long as it's
Oh.
not that
Almost like, oh my god, what is the
The
game
Among
my
Us?
kids can't stop? Yes. Oh my
yeah. That's what I
god,
was gonna say. As
that
long as
game
it's
is
not
like 3 years old.
Is it really?
It
Yeah.
is literally 3 years old, and I try to explain it to my kids. They don't get it. They're stupid.
Oh my god, that game is just driving me nuts.
It should drive you nuts because it's not that good.
It is not. It's just like
But this game is that Charles is showing you, and we tell you
Yeah.
something. It is really good.
is it? It is
Oh,
a platformer.
I had to stop playing it because I
that's-
felt like the time sync addiction setting in.
Oh.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
You know what I need to start playing again is Star Wars: The Old Republic.
They have
I
a
love
new.
that game.
They have a brand new one coming out in like a couple days. Oh, I
Wait,
can't remember what it's
a new
called.
Battlefront?
Oh, I
or a
can't remember
new-
what it's called. There's a new Star Wars
Oh, it's
RPG.
Oh wait, what?
I can't remember what it's called, and I don't want to look at it. I can't look at it
I,
directly.
I won't. I
Kind of
won't
like,
tell you.
I explained to my wife. No, I never once dreamt about multi-person encounters because that's never going to happen. I just focused on single-person encounters because that's the only thing that could happen.
What do you
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, let's not go there.
Okay then. So is it the Force Fallen Order?
Yes,
It's
exactly.
a new Fallen Order.
Oh my god, that looks so good.
Oh my God, you're right.
I
you
looked
suck,
at it.
Thor. I'm so mad at you.
I had to stop looking at it because it looks so good. And damn, Charles is nailing this stuff. Look at him. My
Playing
God.
with a drawing tablet. That's why.
I
Because
don't
can handle it.
care. Oh, you were doing good.
I'm still doing good. My combo's
Better than
still
me,
up.
yes. Okay, guys.
This is
I'm going to have to disconnect. I'm going to have to stop the live stream, and tomorrow I'm going to have to post the show.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you guys for coming out, all of
Oh,
you.
no problem. No problem.
no problem.
Charles, I cannot state how much you've helped everybody with. And look, I know you participate in many communities. I know you help everybody, whether it be technology, connections, or other ecosystems. I'll just say thank you for taking your time to support the Podnutz community because you're a busy fella.
No problem, Dor.
And Brett, man, I really wish I had more time to devote to just entertaining the things that you find entertaining, is the way I'll put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. It's the stuff I find fun is interesting, but not to everyone.
Well, it's interesting to me. I just don't have the time to devote to it.
No,
But I might soon have it, is what I'll say.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Good or bad?
Both. My
Okay,
wife
then.
got a raise, and I told my boss today, if
Go
you
fuck
try
yourself.
to tell me to do anything I don't want to do, I'm going to quit
Nice.
because I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, Dor.
And good for you, Dor.
Well, if the kids are happy and the wife is happy, that's all that matters.
Yep. And I'll be happy to come visit you once I have all my RV running.
I know, but that's a long way, dude.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Number one, I like driving, and number two, you're worth it.
I know you love driving, but I would be much more satisfied if I could meet you somewhere towards the
convention?
middle. Maybe.
Once we have conventions again.
As long as it's not Cincinnati. Because Cincinnati is literally one of the most disgusting towns I've ever met in my life.
Is it?
Oh my God, it literally stinks like a frigging water treatment facility. Oh God, it's horrible. Oh, it is. I'd rather live in San Diego than visit Cincinnati.
Hmm.
It is so bad.
Wait, San Diego? What's wrong with San Diego?
Nothing. I'm
Okay.
trying to convince my wife that we could move there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually a really nice.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it is.
temperature wise, 70 all year.
Well, move down to where I am. 20 minutes from LA, 20 minutes from the beach, and 20 minutes from the mountains.
None of them seem desirable to me, but maybe to my wife.
Well, yeah, no. I don't go to LA. I don't go to the mountain. Well, actually, I wish I went to the mountains more, but I don't go to the beach ever.
but it is a good reason. It's a
Right.
good point. to
Yes, I absolutely agree.
make. Yeah. Except
Alright.
just make sure you bring a lot of money. It's
Well-
expensive as hell.
The wife is making good money.
Well, then that works. I'll see you
She's
down
smart.
there.
Yeah.
Have a good night, bud.
Good
Take it
night.
easy, guys.